Peace, 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 power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstone in the building. Oh, I'm not on camera. I'm not on camera. Let me get on camera. Welcome, everybody, here. How y'all doing? Long time. No speak, no see, no chat. Hi, welcome. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yeah, man. Shout out to Naturally Natured in the building. Shout out to the God, Phil Boom. Shout out to Justina B. Yeah, we jamming tonight, man. This is the theme right now. War, man. This is the theme, war right now. And tonight I want to deliver an urgent message, as it says in the title, to the melanated beings, so-called black people. You guys know, those who have followed me know that I'm not really on and I always lose followers when I say this, but this is not my main vehicle for making money, so I don't care. This is why I'll play like a copyrighted song and don't care. I'll edit it afterwards or whatever they hit me with the strike, because it's not my main vehicle for making money. So it's not, I don't have to scam or manipulate y'all. I do this because I have to. It's in my chart, and I just feel great. I always get a upload, a download, a high rate of vibration, a charge to my aura, to my electromagnetic field, if you will, when I do this. Peace to Boy E, peace to Ultra Instinct. Was popping, was popping, was popping, was popping. Yeah. And so when I'm doing this work, let me tell y'all my story real quick, and then we're gonna get into the show. Let me tell y'all my story, what's been happening. I have a family member that's going through some challenges to stay with me right now. Kind of unexpectedly, but it's a family member that I love. So they're staying with me, so I'm adjusting with that, somebody being in my space and things like that. Last week, let me tell y'all what happened. My birthday's coming up. As you guys who follow me know I'm a Scorpio. My birthday's October 23rd. I had a trip booked to Cancun, right? I had my solo trip. I was ready to go to Cancun. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Cancun in a couple of weeks. I'm on Facebook. I'm posting the travel groups. I'm like, what's popping in Cancun? What can I get into? What type of excursions, trips? What should I look for? Where should I stay? Talk to somebody in my family, right? They're like, oh, we're gonna help you get an all inclusive, because I want to do something really luxury, for my birthday, all inclusive in Cancun, right? There's a reason for the story, right? I'm not just talking your ear off about my personal business, right? There's a message behind the madness. Shout out to y'all coming in, man. I appreciate y'all. Please smash that like button when you are here. I appreciate it, right? So I have everything booked. I'm ready to go to Cancun for the first time, right? And I so I'm getting everything. I'm getting the information for the resort and things like that. Right, I'm looking up. Um, my sister actually, she's like, "Yo, here, I got a hookup for you." So she gives me a great discount on the resort, luxury resort, all inclusive, everything that I wanted on the beach. Everything that I wanted. That I had vision. I had a vision in my mind of what I wanted. Right. So. So the night before, right, I already booked it. So I booked the ticket, right? When I book tickets for flights, because, life things happen. So I always pay whatever it is to reserve the ticket for additional time. Always. So if it's like $20, $30 to, if you're going to cancel, because, sometimes you buy tickets and like you can't cancel. If you cancel, you can't get your money back, right? So always pay whatever the extra is. So I did the same thing this time. I paid the extra, right? Just in case something happens. Thankfully, I did, right? And I learned my lesson from the past. Here's why. I go to bed, right? I go to bed. I start astral traveling, right? Dreaming, lucid dreaming. I'm lucid dreaming. And in my lucid dream, right? Um, in my lucid dream, I have a dream. The first dream, I have a dream of a plane crashing, right? This is 2 nights in a row. I have a dream, right? I wake up. The plane is like just going down. It's going down in flames though, and as it's going down in the flames, like I'm at the chair, but I can't get out the seatbelt. Like I can't pop the the belt that I for whatever I can't pop it. So that's actually what wakes me up. So I wake up in the bed, drenched with sweat, trying to pop this seatbelt to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? To get up and just move around. I can't move. So I wake up and that's what I'm doing, right? I got the seatbelt, right? Next, so I'm like, all right, it's just a dream or whatever. Boom. So next day, right? I actually, call who I have to call to get the resort booked and everything, right? And I don't put the money down yet. I'm like, I'm gonna put the money down the next day, right? So then the next day, Rob Blackstorm has another dream. This dream, I get off a plane, right? Same thing, same theme. I get off a plane, and as soon as I get off the plane, there's somebody runs. Now I'm just the plane lands on a beach, right? It's not landing on like a airport and runway. It just lands straight up on the beach, right? Which never happens. Not even for like rich people. I think just a plane, a 747 or whatever, is going to land on the beach, right? But it lands on the beach, and on the beach, somebody sticks me up in front, and somebody behind me is running up behind me, right, with a pistol. It's crazy, right? So somebody's sticking me up, and so the person that's running up in front of me, I actually have a young lady in the bed with me at the time, and that fell asleep in the bed, right? And again, I'm drenched in sweat, and I actually punched the person that was in the bed with me. Yo, I punched the person that was in the bed with me, right? But luckily, I didn't hit him with the full force of these cannons. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 240. I'm 6'3", so I'm not no small person. If I hit you, I'm gonna hit you hard. So luckily, I didn't hit him with the full force. And when I hit him, they was like, "Oh, what's going on?" You know what I'm saying? So it woke me about my dream. Long story short, I ended up canceling my trip. Right? I canceled my trip, got my refund. I didn't book the room, so I'm not going to Cancun. Yes, it's very sad. I know. I feel sad about it. The reason I'm bringing this up is this is not the first time I've had things like this happen, right? I call it Spidey sense. Another brief story. When I was younger, about 17, my friend Yada got into a dispute. Rest in peace to Yada. He got into a dispute with somebody over a VCR tape. As he got into this dispute, uh, it was something that happened early in the day. We go back to our block where we always hang out and chill, hang out outside or whatever, smoke trees, whatever, chill, listen to music, whatever, right? That's with the women, whatever. We was just where we chill, like a chill hangout spot or whatever we had on the block. Something tells me, go home in my head. Go home, go home, go home, go home. Right? But I'm not listening. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm like, I ain't going home. Right now, I'm not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward, right? I go, so fast forward, my stomach just gets crazy. It gets crazy upset out of nowhere. It just gets crazy upset. So now I'm forced to go home. I go home. When I go home, right? I come back. The people on my block tell me, yo, Kenyatta got shot. They did a drive-by. Now, mind you, I'm the tallest of my friends. Of all my friends that I hang out with, I'm the tallest. So most likely I would have been the easy target, the soft target, the easy target to hit because I'd have been the biggest and the tallest there to hit. So I'd have probably got hit. Would I die, live? Who knows? But I don't want to take a shot to find out, right? So that's another thing. This year, New Year's Eve, I got a party booked, right? Paid for the tickets, bought a nice suit outfit. New Year's Eve, gonna turn up. Everything that could go wrong went wrong that day, even down to my phone, right? And again, there's purpose to this. Even down to my phone. I go to my phone. I can't charge my phone for some reason. It just won't charge. It's like there's water in my phone. I'm like, I ain't even touch nothing wet. You know what I'm saying? For water to be in my phone that I can't charge it, right? So I have an alternate charger, the flat charger that you put it on. So I put the phone on that charger. And it charges super slow because it's the old version that you put it on. Wireless charger is what it's called. The train, now I would have had to take the train there instead of driving or taking an Uber just because the way prices are on New Year's Eve and traffic is just quicker to take the train, right? Everything goes wrong. The phone's not charging, right? I do a reading, right, on it. Readings like don't go, don't go. Also, I didn't tell you about the Cancun trip. After I had the second dream, I did readings as well. The readings like don't go, don't go. So I canceled the trip. This time, New Year's, I do a readings, readings like no go, reversals, towers, shit like that, don't go. All right. So I don't go. The train I would have been on would have, when I looked at everything that happened, there was not only an explosion on 42nd Street that New Year's Eve in New York City. Also, the train that I would have been on, someone was on the tracks, right? On the train I would have been on. So I'd have spent my New Year's Eve when the ball dropped on a New York City subway underground. That's not how I wanted to spend my New Year's Eve, right? So I say all that to say this, right? We all have psychic and spiritual abilities. We all have a spidey sense. We all have the ability to see things before they happen, to know things before they happen. And what it really, uh, based on my experience, what it really entails and details is how in tune are you with yourself, right? Now, I could have kept going to Cancun and ignore the warnings. I could continue to go. I could ignore the dream. I hadn't had a dream like that since. Haven't had a lucid dream at all, right? Ended up going this last weekend that passed to Comet Fest, around there for Man, saw Set Society, the author of Melanated. Had a great time. Glad I went and got some more revelations. I met with a doctor who told me about some health things that I had, issues I had with my stomach, and I followed them, and my stomach, even just this quick, transformed. We all are battling wars in our personal life. We all are going through personal jihads in our personal life, whether it's with money, whether it's in relationships, whether it's where we live, whether it's around people that we are around or forced to be around, whether it's at our jobs, places of business, with business, you name it. Right now, everyone's going through something. Even like the little spiritual community that I have, that I speak to and talk to, we all going through it. We all going through something. And I'm guaranteed you that are watching are going through something. You're going through some sort of hardship. You're going through some sort of challenge in your life right now. When you look at these challenges, right, you want to look at them not just with two eyes, you want to look at them with three eyes. And you want to have the ability to see things happening, not just with, again, your two eyes, but with three eyes. And that third eye that we all talk about is not just you being able to see, ghosts and spirits, but being able to forewarn yourself for the future, to be able to see things that are going to happen before they happen. In order for spirit to be able to tap you on your shoulder and say, look, you bring your black ass to Cancun, you might die or get robbed, right? Sacrifice that shit. Yeah, you spent $300 on tickets for New Year's Eve. Sacrifice that shit. It's worth it. You might be in a worse jam than you think, right? There's times when we don't listen to the voice in our head. There's times when we don't listen to our instinct. There's times when we don't pay attention to the tea leaves and we don't read the tea leaves because we are distracted, right? We're part of escapism. We are looking for some way to somehow control life or manipulate life or just not deal with life, right? Smoke it away, drink it away, drug it away. I was reading something on Facebook about beta blockers, right? How, looking at comments about these drugs and how people like, yeah, this drug helped me. I couldn't do a speech, until I took these beta blockers. Now I was able to speak in public. Like, we've become a society that not only has become soft, but especially melanated beings, we have become comfortable. We got iPhones, we got the internet, we got $1,000 shoes and $2,000 purses, and we're able to travel, we're able to buy nice cars, right? We think that the war is over. We think that there's no war, in fact. So we have the luxury of looking at 2-3 hour videos about flat earth. We have the luxury of looking at 2-3 hour videos about aliens. We have the luxury, right, of watching Netflix series and Hulu series and whatever, right? We have this luxury of doing that because we think that there's no war. We think nothing's going to happen to us here in America. We think, well, we have the great military, right? We got, borders, and everything's just going to be peachy clean. I'm here to tell you, as someone who's forewarned before things happen, let me tell you another thing, right? I've been forewarned of, right? That hasn't come to pass yet, but probably will, right? Based on my experience. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, the time I would have came back was around the week of the 25th of October. Let's see what's going to happen around that time, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm guaranteed something would either happen to me or something's going to happen in general. But I was forewarned when I was out the 50th anniversary of hip hop. It was an outdoor event. KRS-One hosted, Public Enemy, Fat Joe, a couple other people were out there, Ultramagnetic MCs, et cetera, right? Were out there performing. And nothing happened to me. I wasn't doing anything special. I was just walking, and something stopped me. And I got a vision of that whole area being blown up, destroyed, desolate. And I had a voice in my head told me, there's not going to be events like this coming forward. You're not going to see any more events like this. This is not going to be a thing moving forward. This is going to be your last one that you're going to be outdoor and in this type of outdoor event, right? Take it for what you will. But there is a war going on outside and inside that no man or woman is safe from. Let me say that again. There's wars going on outside, which you can see with 2 eyes. But if there's a war going on outside, there's a war going inside as well that no man is safe from. This message is especially, and Spirit told me to especially address this to the melanated beings, right? Why? Because we are the vanguard of society. We are the vanguard of society. We are the spiritual shields and swords of society. We are the soul are the light bringers of society. They say blacks, right? With Jay-Z line, blacks are good for sports and entertainment, right? That's the common, person that does not know who we truly are would think, right? We're just here to entertain, right? Dance, sing, things like that. But even in that simple assessment, they don't know that that's still bringing light. Music is light. Dance is light. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, right? Devin Booker, these people able to do terrific things. Kyrie Irving with the basketball. That's a form of light. That's a form of information, but it also is a form of joy, right? It also helps you grow. It also makes your day better. This is why people go to concerts and go to these events and pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to see us perform and bring light to the world and bring energy to the world. Our biggest export in America is entertainment. And we all know who the top dog entertainers are. This is not something that is hard to decipher or understand. Okay. So I want to get into this lunar eclipse. Now that I've went through this monologue for 20 something minutes, I want to get into this lunar eclipse. I appreciate y'all being here, right? And tap into some of these powers and how you can tap into some of these powers of foresight, give you an idea of what's going on. I'm going to play some videos to show you what's going on, because we melanated beings are not living up to our potential. We have become the most apathetic, the most despicable. We have become what we used to call white people, which is the devil, right? And I'm not, if you're Caucasian watching this message ain't really for you, but you can watch along, whatever. But we have been called what we used to call the white people, the devil. We have become the new savages. In fact, we have brands called Savage, and we've embraced the savage nature. We've embraced being animals. We've embraced the lowest of the low, right? It's not even, and we're not even fighting back against it. It's becoming acceptable. We're waiting for someone to save us. We're waiting for the aliens. We're waiting for Jesus to come. We're waiting for this. And not only that, we're divided and conquered. If we're not waiting, we're ADOS, FBA, B1, African, Caribbean. Everybody is separate. The gender war. These things are at our heights right now. We're looking at the Israel and Palestine thing, right? But there's war right here. Ice Cube said, "You want to free Africa? I stare at you because we ain't doing too good in America. Replace Africa for Israel and Palestine. You want to pray for Palestine because the Israelis did them dirty. What about the Palestine here in America? What about the Palestine here for these babies that they're going through? Do you know that melanated children since 1991 to 2019, the suicide rate has gone up 80%? I'm sorry, 2001 to 2019, the suicide rate is going up 80% for melanated children. I don't see videos about this. I don't see blogs about this. I don't see these things going viral, but I do see the gender war. And the funny thing is, people are gender warring. There's mothers that have sons and are talking shit about men. There's men that have daughters that are talking shit about women. You don't think by you gender warring all day and getting dopamine hits from the likes that you're getting, because misery loves company, so you're going to get likes from your gender war. Oh, yeah, talk shit about a man, you're going to get likes. Talk shit about a woman, yeah, you're going to get likes. You're going to get those dopamine hits. So you're going to want to do it more and more. You don't think that's going to trickle down to your son if you're a woman? You don't think that's going to trickle down to your daughter if you're a man? You're bugging. Whatever you focus on grows. Whatever you focus on expands. And we're focusing on shit that does not matter at all. Let's get into the show. We're going to show some slides. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to get it popping. And we're going to let's talk about this Ring of Fire solar eclipse. I'm going to show y'all some videos. Yeah, and I think with this particular presentation, if you don't understand that you're at war, and if you don't take the steps that Spirit told me to tell y'all to take, you're going to have a rough 2024 ahead. We're going into an 8-year. The number 8 is build and destroy. If you look at the DNA double helix, right? If you look at the DNA double helix, it looks like an 8, right? You look at DNA, it looks like 8s. Your DNA is your the death and life of you, right? If you have parents that are still alive, then their parents' DNA that is in you is still the life that's in you. If they're passed away, your DNA is still in them, so they still live within you. And this goes for your parents, great grandparents, great on, what we call ancestors. So you still have life in you, but it's about life and death when you deal with an 8. It's about the infinite, right? And next year is going to be very challenging, very challenging. This was a 7-year. This is a tune-up year. And what Spirit told me is these niggas got 6 months, man. These next 6 months could change your life or break your life. These next 6 months, melanated people, could change your life or break your life. These steps that I'm going to give you, if you do not implement any of them at all, you just continue to smoke your way out, mushroom your way out, watch TV your way out, fuck your way out, party your way out, whatever it takes to escape, you tapping into your God force, you tapping into your spiritual abilities, you coming into yourself, especially tomorrow, right? And the next eclipse that's coming up. But tomorrow in particular, because this is a window of power. This Ring of Fire solar eclipse is literally a doorway of power that is coming to us. And it is a privilege for us The moon, this solar eclipse is basically the moon blocking the sun, right? The light, and it's going to bring that ring, but it's also going to bring intense energy on the planet. We already know the Israel and Palestine conflict is happening, right? Actually, let's go into the slides. I don't want to get it in ahead of myself. Let's get into this share screen. Let's do this. So we have make sure y'all can see me. And y'all can interact, ask questions, everything. All right. We have the Ring of Fire solar eclipse happening in Libra. Okay. So this Ring of Fire solar eclipse is an intense event, which we just discussed. The last time a Ring of Fire solar eclipse happened that I can recall was in 2017. In 2017, my Kundalini got awakened, right? Here's what I did. I'm gonna give you a tip. And I'm gonna show you again as we get to the end. I'll give you some more tips. But what I did was basically look at the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? When I saw it here in New York, I looked at it in 2017. And 2 days later, I had an inner fire in my body, right? And then I noticed when I looked at people, I could start to see things about them. You know, a lot of things that some things I didn't want to see, you know, some things I didn't want to see. And I had to learn how to turn it off and turn it off. When my psychic abilities starting to awaken, my third eye power is starting to awaken. I started to see how people think and their past, and visualize a lot of things that come into your scepter or your perception when you become psychic. So this particular ring of fire is in Libra. Okay, so let's get into what that looks like. So when we're talking about Libra, we're talking about the scales, right? The sign of Libra is the scales. So is what or who you're relating to leaving you light as a feather? This particular illustration here is what they call the Book of the Dead. It's really called the Book of Coming Forth by Day. This is a Kemetic, aka Egyptian, but we're going to use Kemetic going forward. A Kemetic stela, if you will, papyrus, if you will, scroll, if you will. And what this illustrates is the neophyte or the student that has passed on. He is being judged, right? There's 10 people above his head. These are different deities or different aspects of his his personality or persona, which is what the deities represent. As you see, there's two more people on the bottom dressed in white, right? Which would go to 12, or which is where they got the whole idea of judging people, 12 jurors, things like that, right? And then you have the scale, which is weighed by Anubis, right? Anubis is the dog, right? Anubis is a dog, as you see right here. And as you see, there is, I don't know if you can see my pointer, but what Anubis has a feather right here, and the heart of the neophyte or the heart of the student, you could call him the Padawan, whatever, right? If you're into Star Trek, you know what I'm talking about. And his heart is being weighed by a feather. The way you understand, and Libra is all about communication, relationships, things like that. The people that you are communicating with and the people that you are interacting with, the thing you have to ask yourself is this: moving forward, reflecting, looking at life, are the people you're interacting with, is your heart light as a feather? What do I mean by that? Or do you have empathy in simple terms? Everybody on the internet is an empath. I know you're an empath. You can feel everything. Blah blah blah. I get that. I understand. I hear you. Spirit's telling me, yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, I'm an empath. Okay, you're an empath, right? But are you really able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, right? If you're having issues with someone at work, are you able to put yourself in their shoes? Or if you're having issues in a relationship, are you able to put yourself in their shoes? If you see what's happening in the world, are you able to put themselves in your shoes, right? Are you able to put them in your, are you able to put yourself in their shoes? Meaning, are you able to see things from their vantage point? That's really what empathy is, right? Empathy is ultimately compassion for others, an understanding of others, looking at others from their perspective. If you're gender warring, you don't have empathy. You're not an empath. I don't care what you say. I don't care how spiritual you are. If you think because you're a woman and because you give birth that you're better than a man, you're not an empath. You still have some work to do with that, with this scale, which represents Libra and this heart being light as a feather. If you're a man and you think you're better than a woman because you're a man and you have more strength, you still have some work to do, right? You think women are this, you think men are this, vice. You're gender warring. You think what we need in on this planet is to come together, right? It's man and woman that creates life. No woman just creates life alone. No man just creates life alone. It's men and women. In fact, there's so much sperm in like a milliliter. There's so much sperm in like a milliliter of sperm. There's so much sperm in there, you can make like 40, 50 people, right? This is scientific fact. So a man can say, well, I got the seed in me, right? I'm more dumb, I'm more powerful, right? This whole gender war, even the spiritual community where people think, oh, men can't tap into the spirit the way women can because men are this and men are only external. No, don't limit me to just being external because I'm a man. I'm in a masculine vessel, so I express myself as a man, but I've lived many lives. You've lived many lives. You've been a man, you just don't know, right? You haven't done the work to get tap into that level of spirituality. But I've done readings for people since 2017, since my pineal gland opened, where I've seen people that were white in the past life. And people like, yeah, I've been having this dream about white person, but I didn't understand who this was. And it really, now that you read it, it makes sense. Like it's all ringing true. Like I've seen people with Hispanic ancestors, Aztec ancestors, whatever, that were melanated, you know what I'm saying? And things like that, dark as hell. We all come through in different incarnations because all this life is about experiences. And for you to transcend those experiences and go on to the next level, right? Go into Sirius B, right? Become a vessel of light, become a real star seed, right? And if you choose, like a lot of people's like, oh, I'm not coming back here and incarnate. Well, you don't know. You might want to come back here and incarnate, right? There's a lot of good shit here. Sex is great. You know what I'm saying? Sex is great. Food is great. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Partying is great. There's great music here. It's not as bad as you guys are presenting this life to be. Okay? Is there a lot of things here that are bad? Yes. But there's a lot of things here that are good. You asked might volunteer to come back. You don't really know what it is up there to say, oh, I'm not coming back. Don't look at this experience as this is hell and this is the worst experience in the world. No, this experience of you living in this avatar as a melanated being is a privilege. It's a privilege. It's an honor, right? And I don't care who your great, 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 great grandparents were. Guaranteed they intermingled with people of different cultures, different race, which is a false construct anyway, which is a construct given to us by colonizers, because there's no such thing as race. The first thing was nationality. Oh, I'm from Benin. Oh, I'm from Jamaica. Oh, I'm from England, right? No matter your color, if you watch shows like Spartacus, if you watch Gladiator, right? There's people of different colors. They didn't go by their color. They went by their nationality because nationality denotes culture. And nationality usually has a culture around it. So it shows what type of attitude you would have. So, and this is also part of being light as a feather. This is also you being able to understand and see things from different people's vantage point and different people's point of view. I was talking to my family member who was here, and I said, you know what? If you told so-called black people today that you could get $10,000 for roping up and taking people to prison, 10 small, which is nigger pennies, right? $10,000 is nigger pennies, right? That you could rope up them, and if you were able to bring them to jail, right? People from different parts of the continent that weren't American, guess what? Melanated people would do it here and now, right now. All the people that's against slavery, all the people that's pro-black, all the people that's fight the power, all the people wearing the dashikis and the kufis and all that, guarantee you a lot of people would do it. And think about it. A lot of people will do it because they don't have empathy, right? A lot of people, money is their God. That's really the God in America, money. So is what you're relating to light as a feather. When you are in relationships with someone, it is you relating to them. That is what empathy is. Relationship. What is your relationship with others? And most importantly, what is your relationship with your heart? What type of heart do you have? What type of compassion do you have? Do you really want to help your family first and foremost? And are you really an example of what a highly melanated being or a God being should be in your community, should be at your job, should be at the grocery store? Are you a beacon of light when you walk through the grocery store? Are you a beacon of light when you're amongst your family members that you don't like, that you hate? But you're like, man, I got this family member that like this. But yeah, just because you have empathy from them doesn't mean you're going to embrace them fully and be around them. But you have understanding that this is who they are. I'm going to be who I am. I'm not going to let them change who I am. That's what God really is. Where you're standing on your square, on your foundation of who you are, and you're solid with who you are. This is the real war. Coming back to who we truly are. Noble men of nobility, men of honor, men of truth. And I'm saying men, but I'm talking men and women. People who were once looked upon as gods and goddesses, who Socrates and Herodotus wrote about, and the Greeks came and learned from and taught from. Our books, our papyrus, our scrolls, our knowledge. This is what we have to get back to. And we have a short window to work on that, but we have an accelerated window because the ring of fire, right? Our melanated bodies correspond to things like that. It corresponds to fire. It corresponds to heat. It corresponds to solar energy, right? And then we have another lunar eclipse coming up, uh, Halloween weekend. So there's more power in the cycle of the Scorpio season where you're able to unwrap and uncover the mysteries. If you're going through challenges right now, it's really designed to get you back to who you were supposed to be so you could prepare and be the vanguard for what's coming. And what's coming is not going to be easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to be a walk in the park, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to be something you could just brush by and turn on your PS5, especially if you have no power, ladies and gentlemen. If there's a bomb, if there's a nuke, with what's happening, actually, let me continue going because y'all know I'll be yapping all day. Shout out to the spirit. So we see what's happening right now, right? Drake dropped the album For All the Dogs, right? And I have here For All the Dog Stars. So the dog star, right, is what is basically a star from what they have a tribe called the Dogon in Africa, particularly North Africans, right? Which now some of them are, well, let's say North Africa, right? So dog stars. And the dog star, right? Drake dropped the album called All the Dogs. This was the cover. And if you look at this cover, he said it was drawn by his son. That's questionable, but that's not the point. The point is the image is out there to be consumed. So let's talk about it. So he dropped this album, right? If you look at this, and I've showed a picture of Set before. I should have dropped it here, but I don't have it. Anyway, that's not the point. But if you look at this picture and you look at the picture of Set, right, which is where they got Satan, right? The Yoruba version of that would be Eshu, right? This is where the trickster god or the animal god or animal headed god, right? You see that with Loki, right? Marvel Loki with the horns on the head, right? That same type of energy, mischief, trickster energy. So he dropped this album called For All the Dogs, right? And this is also a sign and symbol of you having to wake up. Now his album was a dud because this is not a sign and symbol for Drake and for you to be successful and for you to, look at success. No, this is a sign and symbol for you to look at who you really are and understand that this low vibrational music, as I wrote here, is dying. Okay. Says Juicy J on the right calls for meeting after claiming rap sales are down 40%. There's also another report, Ebro from Hot 97, right, works at Apple Music too, saying that the programmers and the music industry had honchos that now they're looking for world music, right? They're looking for Afrobeat artists. They're looking for, Latinx artists and things like that, world music, so to speak, because they're saying that hip hop is too expensive, right? People are dying, people are getting shot, the concerts, people are getting shot up, right? It's full ratchetry. Okay, it's full ratchetry. It's full low vibrational. And people are going away from that now, and they want music now that's making them feel good. When you have one of the biggest artists in the world, which is Drake, dropping an album, and not only is it not being received well, right? But he's in his feelings. He's in his feelings. In fact, Drake commented today on some Instagram, well, some woman that was on Hot 97, like saying that she didn't like the album, and he's in the comments like, who is this person? Like, he's in his feelings about this album, right? Now Drake is an actor that is acting as a rapper. That's just what it is. Like, he came in Degrassi, he has a team of writers, and he's an actor that's acting like a rapper. He always has been. Does he have talent? I'm not going to say he doesn't have talent, right? I'm not going to say maybe his first couple of hits, but I believe from the gate, he was always a rapper with writers, right? That has propelled him to the place that he is. And he's been doing the same formula that he's been doing all these albums. Now, I didn't hear the whole album, but I heard enough for me to turn the shit off and, go listen to Griselda. But that's neither here nor there, right? It wasn't one of them Drake joints that was popping. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be a sign that this is what's happening. And what's happening is, if you see the symbol, you'll understand that it's not for the dogs, but it is the dog stars, right? If you're a dog star, if you recognize what's going on, if you're able to see beyond these veils, if you're able to see what's going on, you'll understand that, Black culture is going down this toilet. So are you going to be a star? Or are you going to be light as a feather? Or are you going to be the example of what a god is? Because the thing about this whole being a god and this god body thing is if you're a melanated being, you have the power to be the highest of the high, the goddess of the god, right? The most of the most, right? But as above, so below. That's the principle of Tahuti, what they call, from the Kabbalion, right? The seven universal laws, as above, so below, right? But if you can go as high as you can, you could also be as low as you can be, right? One of the reasons why melanated people lost their heights of highs is because they decided to not follow nature and not be in tune with nature, but now be in tune with the ego, be enamored with riches, be enamored with status. Now, there were invasions and things like that, but the culture, and you could trace this back to Akhenaten and when he changed everything around and how that messed up the dynasties after and everything like that, right? You could really trace that directly to him, but that's another story for another day. But right now, we're in a dire state, right? It's a lot of shit happening. And we got to get ourselves into, we got to make new music. We got to create new things. And there's a war against us that is happening. And we are just acting like something's going to come and save us. There's somebody that's going to come and do something for us. We don't have to improve ourselves. We don't have to be the gods of the planet anymore. We could be it in speech, but we're not being it in action. And these is facts. We're not even battling within ourselves. We're just let me drink it, smoke it, pill it, sex it, party it away. And this time is a time for work. It's a time for intense work because nobody's going to save you, your family, and then us as a whole, but us. And we need everybody we got because America right? There's only 14% of melanated people here. But around the world, we are masses. And this doesn't mean we're better than anybody else. So we're just different, and we have a different responsibility. And we have the responsibility of being the spiritual vanguard on the planet. I want you to understand that. If you are in a melanated meat suit, it is a high responsibility. If you don't live up to that responsibility, you're going to have what you have now, where we are the devils of the planet, where we are the dogs of the planet. God to dog, right? Reverse it, God to dog, right? It's backwards. And we're backwards. We have become a backwards people, if we're being honest. All that God body shit, I don't see that shit when I'm in the street. The people that are the most threatening to me in my environment are people that look like me. Let's just keep it a buck. They keep telling me it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. Pac ain't lie. Rest in peace to the ancestor. Let's keep going. So, low vibrational music is dying, okay? Gig is up. All these formulaic, sing-songy, TikTok-y, that shit is going. And the artists are suffering for it, okay? Because we're not making art for the heart, we're making art for the chart, okay? And that's not working anymore because it's not time for that because of what's coming. So let's get into, I want to get into this video by my brother, Adika Butler. I had it queued up, my bad, y'all. I want to get into his Instagram video that he dropped today. And he's just going to go into some things that we were talking about. And I want you guys to, it's a quick, short video, but I want you guys to really listen to what he's saying. And then we will talk about it. I already told him I was going to use it. So Adika is my man. I don't think he minds me showing his work. But he is a genius author of, what's the name of his book? The Homie Amount of the Homie. And just overall genius that I respect full force. He doesn't do a lot of videos, but when he does a video, you got to listen. So take a listen to this video, and we'll talk about it. Give me 1 second. Hit that like button. Yep, Ultra Instinct, microwave music. It is dead like the food. All right. Give me 1 second. So let's do this. Bam.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We do eat fresh produce, food that is not in a can. But you would not know that taking a walk through the hood nowadays and seeing the expansion of food deserts and the proliferation of smoke shops. Everywhere you go, you see a smoke shop popping up. And then you already got, you know, the wino spots that have been prevalent in the community for decades now. It really speaks to an issue of escapism. You know what I'm saying? Like where we don't want to be responsible for the circumstances surrounding our lives. You know, thinking that you can find escape in some McDonald's or rolling up a joint, or the thought that the green space brothers from the planet Nibiru or whatever is going to come and rescue you from the reality that you're living in. It all stems from the same root. External savior, vicarious atonement. All of it is the same shit. So I don't know what's to come of it all, but I do know one thing, that we need to like change our priorities. You know, people are talking about this and talking about that stuff that's going on the other side of the world. It's good to have compassion and empathy for the human condition. But if you fucked up, you need to find a way to not be fucked up. You need to mind your business and take care of matters that are going on in your own backyard before you start focusing on what's going on in other places and spaces. You know, I see a real problem with the fact that we live in these urban centers in America, and we gotta go out of our way to find good, fresh, organic broccoli. I gotta go to Whole Foods to get Whole Foods. It's insane. You know, basic things that should be available to you are being co-opted and resold to you as luxury. You know, it's a serious problem, a really serious problem. Because if I can control what you eat, I can control what you think. And if I can control what you think, then I can control what you do. And I can make plans about how I'm gonna structure my society, what type of culture that society is gonna have. I can plan 10, 15, possibly 25 years down the line. I might even be able to plan a whole century, but with the amount of variables in the world, it's kind of more difficult for the so-called powers that be to do that kind of thing. At least it's more difficult than it was 200 years ago. But who are the powers that be? Is it them or is it us? That is ultimately the question that needs to be answered
Right.
and will be answered. You got a lot of work to do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So shout out to Adika for the awesome breakdown. All right. Some applause there. Let me bring myself back. Sorry about that. um, yeah, so I mean, he broke it down to the in the easiest compound I could, broke it down to the last compound, as they say, as I could, as I think you can make it, you know. And it's really what's happening is we're not taking care of ourselves. Like there's like what he's saying as a New Yorker, he's right. Like I see that there's smoke shops popping up. Now that they legalize weed, there's smoke shops popping up everywhere. The scent of weed is everywhere in New York City, right? Like everywhere. You step out the house, that's all you smell is weed. You know what I'm saying? That's all you smell is trees. And I'm not like one of these hypocrites that I'm against it, because I am a recreational smoker myself, but even now, like I don't smoke like I used to at all. It's very, very, very recreational. Like it might be once a month, if and it's more so what they like the marijuana. It's really not the same anymore, and it's engineered to not be the same. It's engineered so that we are excuse me, it's engineered so that we are misled and we are down. A lot of it is sativa. A lot of them hybrids are sativa. And what sativa is designed to do is to make you tired, is to make you lazy, is to make you not want to do anything, is to make you non-creative, is to make you sit stuck on the couch playing video games, sit stuck on the couch watching Netflix or Hulu all day, sit stuck on the couch Smoking, you come home after work, you have a long day, you roll up. I know, I've been there. I trust me. Or you got a stressful job, you don't really want to be there. You like, let me smoke it through. Yeah, I know, I've been there. But guess what? If you have a job that you don't like and you're stressed out about it, here's what you can do. You could go there sober, feel the motherfucking pain and the stress of that job. Because guess what? The stress and the pain of that job is going to force you to start looking for other careers, to maybe take a class or a course, maybe go back to school, right? Maybe get a degree, maybe get certified in something, maybe tap into what you love, maybe find an alternative means to make money. You'll become creative instead of just avoiding, instead of avoiding, instead of escapism all the time. This is what God does. God is a problem solver at the end of the day. You're supposed to solve your problems. You're supposed to ascend. You're supposed to grow. You're not supposed to get stuck in just trying to escape every single thing in your life. They're called recreational drugs for a reason. They're not supposed to be done every day, even mushrooms. Yes, I know. Trust me. I come from the same urban environments. I got the same stories. I got the same, I've been homeless as a kid. I've been through a lot of shit. Psychological terrorism with my parents. I've been through a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit. And there comes a time that, yes, there was a time where I was smoking, but there comes a time where you have to come to the point where you're like, am I just going to smoke my life away? There's a song by Wu-Tang. You can't party your life away, smoke your life away, drink your life away, because your seeds grow up the same way. And this is what's happening. And this is part of the war. Okay. Let's look at what's happening out in the world, right? We are Russia and Ukraine, right? This was the start of Pluto return. This is what happened last week. Pluto return and Pluto in Aquarius, this was the indicator that America was on its last leg. America is falling, y'all. I don't know if you guys don't see it because nothing has happened here yet, but it will. And you guys know I'm not a fear monger. And I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those to trigger you for no reason. I'm not one of those to tell you, oh, yeah, this is gonna happen, but go buy my book, or I got the incense to sell you, or I'm gonna give you the special herb, or I'm gonna give you the special crystal. Nah, I'm not here to sell you nothing. Nothing. I'm here to save your black ass. I'm here to try to save your black ass. I can't save you, but I'm here to try, right? We got Russia, Ukraine, which happened last year, which is still going on, right? We got the BRICS, okay? Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, South America, okay? I'm sorry, India, China, and South Africa, right? We have, as we know, what's happening right now with the whole, Palestine-Israel thing, okay? And here at home, we got credit card and car default loans hit 10-year high, okay? This article came out on the 4th of October. Credit card and car loan defaults hit 10-year. You don't see this on social media, right? You don't see all the bankruptcies. Bankruptcies are at an all-time high too. Evictions are at an all-time high too. By the way, I just couldn't fit it all on this slide, right? All these things are at an all-time high right now. People are losing things left and right. People are scheming left and right. You're seeing all these people pop up doing readings that don't know what the fuck they're doing, don't know what they're talking about some bullshit and selling spirituality. And I'm seeing them that are doing that now, they're going through it. They either disappeared or they're expressing their pain and their trials and tribulations on social media, because you can't play with this. When you're doing readings and doing divination, one thing about it, and two things for certain, right? When you're looking at the picture on the cards, that picture on that card, if you're doing tarot, right? Or if you're doing an oracle or whatever, that picture on that card is different for each person. There's a different message for each person, specifically for that person. So you can't just, like, when I read cards, I don't use like the blanket, this means this and this means that. This, it might be a different thing for different person depending on what the situation is, and it's depending on what spirit communicates to you while you're reading. See, back in the days when people really did divination, they really were in tune with their ancestors. They really were hearing things from their ancestors. This was not a hustle. This was not a way to make, 40, 50, 100, $200 a day, saying, to feed yourself or feed your child, right? Not to say you shouldn't make money doing spiritual work. I'm totally for money. I love money. Money loves me. That's my affirmation I say every day. I'm abundant. Money comes to me easily. These are my affirmations I say daily, and they work if you work them. But spirituality, right, is not about making money. Spirituality is about helping people grow and tap in and tune into their spirit, to tap into their inner self, to their heart, to their mind, and to their gut, right? It's about raising your energy and raising your frequency so that you're able to be a Heru, see things from a higher perspective, look down and see the world in chaos, and you still be in peace, and you still be in a state of joy, which is the ultimate part of this work. To see the bricks, to see the wars, to see the inflation, to see everything and be like, I'm going to be all right. To see people going through financial struggle and be like, that's not going to be me. That's not going to be me. Not with my ancestors that are behind me. Not my thousand ancestors that are behind me. I ain't got to worry about that. Even if you have family or whatever in these countries that are war torn, so to speak, right? You know how to send them energy. You know how to have an altar and protect them and put a force field around them, right? You know how to connect with them in meditation and see them protected and see them going through peaceful things. You know how to protect your children in school, right? You know certain crystals you could give them, like tourmaline or elite shungite and things like that, for them to protect themselves. This is what the spiritual work is about. It's not about sitting here talking about motherfucking aliens and motherfucking, you know, the ghost and the cosmos and levitating and stupid shit like that. If I could levitate, so the fuck what? No disrespect to people who can levitate, but so what? How does that help me and my family at the end of the day get ahead? How do I maintain and keep my head above water and keep my heart light as a feather when everything is crashing? When the whole Pandeezy hit, right? Rob Black Storm was light as a feather, right? I said, okay, I'm gonna ship in the gear. I'm gonna start working out more. I'm gonna eat better, right? I'm gonna get me some motherfucking colloidal silver. I'm gonna start drinking more water with chlorophyll. I'm gonna protect myself. I'm not just gonna be a victim and be. A lot of y'all just got tons of anxiety, and y'all go to people that are triggering your anxiety. All they're doing is predicting the next negative thing, the next negative thing, the next negative thing. There was this woman, I was gonna call her a heifer, but I ain't gonna call her a heifer. There was this woman here on YouTube that's saying, "Yo, New York is gonna get destroyed in October." Well, October's over, still almost over. I'm waiting, motherfucker. Other people predicting all these crazy things. When the emergency broadcast system happens, put your phone in the microwave, put it in the safe, dig a hole under a tree, and put your laptop in the hole under the tree. Nigga, you listen to trap music, you listen to thought music, you listen to toxic R&B, you listen to drill music, but you telling me a frequency from the government is really gonna take you off tilt? You watch Ratchet, BET Awards, you watch football, baseball, basketball. God knows what frequency they putting through that. You think Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce is real? When watching Empire, they already told you in Empire, right? And I only watched the first season, but that was enough for me to see what the fuck was going on, especially with the other LGBTQ shit that was going on, right? You think that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift is just dating? That's just and Travis Kelce happens to be the dude that's taking 2 shots of the jibbity jab, putting it back out when winter's coming. He happened to be doing that. You don't think some of these things are orchestrated? But this is when you're seeing with 3 eyes and not just seeing with 2. This is when you have compassion for other people. God gives you the ability to see things that other people can't see. And I'm gonna show y'all some more things that you didn't see that I saw. Okay, and maybe some of you did see it. Hopefully you did, right? But this is what's happening, right? And as I say here, don't forget Africa is uprising with the BRICS, right? Don't forget Haiti is going through their own uprising, right? Where the gangs are taking over Haiti. Don't forget Africa is trying to get the Europeans and the French the fuck up out of there. Everywhere is war right now. So as above, so below. So if there's war out here, there's also war in the streets right now. And you got to be prepared. And most people are not fucking ready at all. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready for another motherfucking collapse of nothing. And for nothing. Not, you don't have the mental fortitude. You still are anxious about every single motherfucking thing that is happening in society. You are scary as fuck, but you have these divine names like Hotep this and Osor this and Lilith this and you know and great God this, but you're not living like that. You're not living like that in real life. It sounds good. It looks good on your profile, but then you go to work and you Josh Smith. Nothing wrong with that. I go to work, I'm Rob Watson. I keep it real. I'm not Rob Blackstorm at work, right? But Rob Blackstorm still lives on at work, even when I was managing call centers and managing companies. I still was me. Anybody, people who know me will tell you this in the comments who work with me. There's people that work with me that are here that probably are ghost watching right now. So I say all this to say that and people that know me know I am a light, right? I'm a light when I'm around. And even if the light is just me not talking about nothing spiritual, but we just going to have fun. Are you the light in the room? Or are you the one tense, worried, anxious? These are things you have to uncondition yourself from because the world is going to whirl. It's going to get worse. And you're going to start getting sick physically and mentally. That's what's going to start happening. Let's go. So there's war outside and war within, which we discussed. So as above, so below, as within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Okay. So when you see these wars, it's an indicator. When you see all these multiple wars happening, Japan is looking at Taiwan like food right now. A house divided cannot stand. Once I saw the State of the Union and I saw the Republicans getting at Joe Biden like that and screaming at him and embarrassing him. Whatever you feel about Joe Biden, that's not, for the political. I definitely don't give a fuck about either one of them. It's just two wings on one bird, right? But when you see a house divided like that, and that's the Speaker of the House, once you see them divided like that, it's over. Like this shit is going down. America is falling. We're in the beginning stages of the fall of America. I need you to understand that. I need you to know that in your soul. I need you to be mentally, spiritually, and emotionally prepared because it's only getting worse. And you have the privilege of being in this melanated suit, but a lot of y'all got Lamborghinis, which is the melanated meat suit, and you're driving it around the projects. You're not taking it to the highway, and it's time to take it to the highway. So there's more wars, right? We see what's happening with celebrities, right? We talked about the gender war earlier. Don't need to bring that back up, okay? So women thought, oh, there's a divestment movement, right? Oh, black men are bad. Boo, kill all the black babies, right? Kill all the black boy babies. They're no good, right? That's one of the popular YouTubers, right? Kill all the black boy babies. Go divest. Go with Zaddy. Well, the universe like, okay, here, take this. Back same day, back to back. Boom, Jodie Turner with Zaddy. Files for divorce from Joshua Jackson, which she, by the way, proposed. This is the lady on the left. She was the one who proposed to him. She got on her knees and proposed to Zaddy, right? To the right, Tamar Braxton, went to Zaddy. That's the safe space, right? Broke up, okay? When we all see what happened with Willie Jada right now. Now, I want to clear one thing up, right? The whole slap was a setup, okay? It was not real. It was to promote Will Smith's emancipation movie and get eyes on it. And it was for Chris Rock's tour to sell more tickets, which it did. Once this happened, Chris Rock comedy tour, tickets start to sell out. He made more money. and Will Smith, where people will probably would have skipped that emancipation movie, watched it, and they got some big numbers on Apple. But I don't want to just talk it. Let me show you so you can see it yourself. And this is here on YouTube. If you deny this, then I don't know what to tell you, right? Let's roll.
Does look great tonight. Jeremy! Now, man, everyone really does look great tonight. Jeremy! Now, I saw you on the red carpet. Looks like you lost those last few pounds.
He is
Angela,
that Will
looks like you
Smith
picked up that bit of weight Jeremy
please.
dropped.
Lord!
Could have been a carrot in that dress, but I guess you brought pumpkins back in season tonight. Good thing there's no fairy godmother around you be carting Cinderella off to the ball.
That was a nice one. Okay.
Man, everyone really does look great tonight. Jeremy,
Now, if
I saw you on the red carpet. Looks like you lost those last few pounds.
He is
Angela,
that Will
looks like you
Smith
picked up that bit of weight Jeremy
please.
dropped.
Lord!
Could have been a carrot in that dress, but I guess you brought pumpkins back in season tonight. Good thing there's no fairy godmother around you be carting Cinderella off to the ball.
That was a nice one. Okay.
Oh, what's this?
How about him?
Elijah taking the stage.
Oh, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Elijah Lewis just slapped the heck out of me.
Don't you ever
Wow,
dude. Like that way.
It was Relax, my friend. It was just a joke. I'm a comedian, Elijah. You know how it is.
I'm going.
So that snap was staged, right? That should be enough proof. One's in the chat if that's proof that the slap was staged. If that's all you needed to see, that the slap was staged. Put the one in the chat. Let me know that I'm not bugging, that people still have common sense and still are able to see things for what they really are, right? Just put one in the chat for me, please. Because that should be enough to show you what really happened and that was staged. Word for word, line for line, that this was taken from an old movie. So we know Will Smith did not do this for Jada. Okay, that was never the idea. Okay, so now that we got a couple ones in the chat, I appreciate it. I guess the rest of y'all are still questioning it. All right, and you know the video's on YouTube. It's still right there. You can screenshot it, watch it for yourself in the comfort of your own home. All right, but the slap was staged. It never was for. Yep. Thank you, self-awareness. Yep. Hit that like button on the way in, please. All right. But the slap was staged, man. It wasn't real. These people are lying to you. All right. These celebrities are telling you and showing you what they want you to see. They got these pictures. They're showing you these images. They want you to think that what they're showing you is the reality. And what they're showing you is lies. What they're showing you is a fiction, right? And I covered Jada before when they were at the Red Table Talk, and I said, Will don't love this woman. You know what I'm saying? The video's back there somewhere on YouTube. But I said, Will don't love this woman. I said, ain't no way. And I said, ain't no way she loves him to put him on a red table. First and foremost, you can't resolve shit with the color red. Red is a color of action. Red is a color of getting active. You know what I'm saying? Red is a color tied to the root chakra. Red is a color of getting busy. You know what I'm saying? Red is a color of war. You don't solve things on a red table. You don't resolve issues at a red table. That's not how this works. So the slap was totally staged. And the reason, again, like I said, it was staged so that, and that whole Oscar, by the way, was by Will Packer. Will Packer is the director of the Emancipation movie by Will Smith, by the way. So it's funny how that ties in and you see it's from an old movie, line by line, rehearsed. These people are actors at the end of the day. These celebrities are actors, okay? They're actors. They're showing you an image. They're projecting and this is the war of your perception for you to see and not see these people as goals, not think, okay, if I escape from dating melanated people and I go to the other side, it's going to be better. No, the grass isn't green on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it, right? I'm not saying date who you want to date, whatever culture. I don't give a shit. That doesn't, guide me. Nobody cares about that. Jay Rogers has a book called Nature Has No Color Line. People have been sleeping with there's been interracial relationships and people sleeping with people from other cultures since the dawn of time, right? But the thing is, people think, again, you can escape, right, with working on yourself. Obviously, with them going to Zaddy, these are men. Both of these white men left these women. The men left. And we could throw in Russell Westbrook and his wife, right? For those of you who know sports, right? Russell Westbrook left his wife. This is not something that even happens on a regular basis where men are leaving. So there's something up. There's something going on. And there's gender wars out in the social media streets. Now, not in real life, because when I walk through the city of New York and drive around, I don't see people gender warring, but there's an engineered gender war that's affecting the children that are more susceptible to social media influence than those of us that are of a certain age. And that's really what we have to fight, all right? So when it comes to this whole Will and Jada saga, don't get too emotionally involved, right? When I first saw it, I said something and I was like perturbed that Jada would even go on this tour bashing Will. And then I caught myself and I realized, oh, these people are actors, right? Let me keep my heart light as a feather and not be so emotionally involved in other people's business. Because I got my own business. I got my own family. I got my own issues. These are distractions. These people are selling you stories. And we have to be vigilant about what we're taking in and what we really care about, right? And what really matters in our life. And what really matters is us becoming the highest version of ourselves, the God version of ourselves. Let's keep going. So these are the elders, right, that we're looking up to, right? They're faking, fronting, scamming, okay? Tulsa Real Estate Fund, endorsed by Dr. Boyce. Yeah, I'm going to say that name. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's already out there in the street. I'm not saying nothing new, okay? Jay Morrison. I seen Jay Morrison here in the Bronx, Fordham Road, right? I seen this dude when I saw him. I said, oh, yeah, this dude's hustling. He got that preacher talk. You know what I'm saying? I said, this dude's hustling. You know what I'm saying? For me being around hustlers, I was like, oh, this dude's hustling. But the average person's not going to know. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to have the spiritual awareness. But guess what? If they knew some divination, right? If they were in tune with themselves, if they were doing meditative work, eventually your ancestors would kick in. Your spirit would tell you to avoid certain things. Just like my earlier story about how I avoided why I'm not going to Cancun and things like that, right? We got the Caesar Pena, DJ Envy, right? These are the elders. These are who are teaching the youth. These are people that are influencing the youth. These are people that are taking young people's hard-earned money, who don't know any better, whose brains aren't developed, and older people who don't know the business, who aren't aware, and taking advantage of them. These are people that look like you and I. We got Derek Grace on the right. I'm going to show a video about Derek Grace because a lot of people don't know that he is a scammer because he got his kids up there. He's talking pro-black. He got the eye of Ra on his head. He got the good look, but he's scamming too. So let's get into it a little bit. I'm not bashing these people. I'm just showing you what it is so you can be aware.
No, I'm trying my hardest to be an unbiased journalist, but Derek Grace is making it so hard. Look at him promoting his newest flash sale.
Hey, what up, y'all? I got a quick PSA. To each and every person that hits us on a daily basis, whether it be via DM, via email, via comments, speaking about, I'm just here to let y'all know, the entire website is currently $15. We're going to celebrate, a great gentleman by the name of MLK, and we're not doing it in the way which America do it. I don't know why you celebrate him. an individual after their birthday. But anyway, y'all, click the link in the bio. Every book, every curriculum, every guide, every plan, every bundle, post-pandemic, how we made $11 million in the pandemic, junior pandemic pack, post-Trump pack, y'all. Every body of work is currently $15. You guys only have 72 hours to take advantage. So please miss me with the sad stories. And guess what? We still got the payment plan. Yes, you can get a whole payment plan on $15 whole. For y'all that just simply need a payment plan. Click the link in the bio, adirgreat2.com, 72 hours, and it's right back up. Hey, whatever, y'all got a quick.
All right, so you see this was posted 3 hours ago, right? So let's go to the comments. Someone says, I purchased 2 months ago, never received my courses. Thumbs down all across the board. Okay. All right. Okay, next one. I guess he reposted this before. Let's go to the comments. Someone says, PSA, I did not got my board game 10 hours ago. So as early as 2022, people are still not getting their stuff, right? Let's go to his where he's having the sale. Let's go to the sale. Bulletproof bundle, I guess, right? So it's originally sold, this whole bundle is sold for $1,200. But for the limited time of 72 hours, he's selling it for about $15. So the question is, was it even worth $1,000 to begin with? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did they do this? At most, you get like a 80% discount, 70% discount, 50% discount. But it's like a 99% discount on his product and his whole program. So was it even worth $1,200 combined to begin with? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here? What's going on here? I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying my hardest to be a well-balanced internet detective. But like, my nigga, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? What's going on here?
These are our heroes. These are the people that our youth are looking up to. These are people with the same meat suit as you and I. These are people that look just like you and I. To back everything up, right? They got the look, the chains, the money, the lifestyle. But what you don't know is the lifestyle that these people are selling you. The lifestyle that these people are selling you is a lifestyle that, it's a lifestyle that they are getting funded by you. They're getting funded by you wanting to be rich, by you wanting to get millions of dollars, by you wanting to be the next rapper, by you wanting to be the next influencer, by you wanting to stunt on your friends, by you wanting to get all the likes and the hits of dopamine. These are devils. These are black devils. The way there's no other way to code it or shame it or sugarcoat it. And I'm using them because they are examples, you know what I'm saying? And there's been examples like this for years and years and years back with people, right? Scamming their own people. But we're supposed to be the vanguards. We're supposed to be the gods. We're supposed to be the spiritual, right? They're helping the black community. They're helping lift the black community. They're pro-black. We're not even able to recognize people. I'm going to give you a gem. I said this on Facebook. If you really want to know if somebody's scamming on social media, this is one tool that you have to use. It's very easy. All you have to do is type their name in and type scam right next to it, right? Type the person's Jay Morrison, whatever. I'm just using an example. Type in Jay Morrison scam. You're going to see a whole list of things on Google where you can look at. You're going to see BBB complaints on Google that you can look at. So when you think of investing in someone's course, or you think of investing in someone's thing, Type in their name and type scam. You'll see if they got if they getting the products. You'll see if they're getting what people, because a lot of these people aren't doing good customer service. They're not doing good business. People aren't getting their products. People aren't getting the returns on their investment. They're hustling. And well, I don't need to go into that, but and sometimes you might be around a hustler and you're not even aware because you're not doing your due diligence. So you'll get caught up like DJ Envy. I've done divination. DJ Envy didn't know everything that was going on. He was just happy to be receiving money. But like he said on the other thing, and he's not lying, you guys have tarot cards and things like that. Do your own divination, which is what you should be doing if you're on this path anyway. If you're watching someone like me, right? You should know how to read. This is when you get off fucking Netflix and you take some time to read a book and learn how to read and learn how to read divination, whether it's the I Ching, whether it's the tarot, whether it's oracle cards, where you shouldn't always have to go to someone else to read for you unless you feel like you want an outside opinion, but you should know how to read for yourself. This is what we used to do, right? We used to have people just for this, just to do divinations, just to read in the community, that were specialists, that were highly tuned in, from kids, from young. But now, right, we don't have that same tutelage in our community, so we have to develop it. But what are we investing our time in? What is our relationship to ourselves? How are we relating to ourselves? Because the way we relate to ourselves is the way we're going to relate to other people. It starts with you first. It starts with how you treat yourself first. It starts with how you invest in yourself first. Then you can worry about saving all the black people and all the other people in the world that you want. But you got to start with you first. And we're so worried about saving the world that we're not saving ourselves. And it's obvious. But these are the elders now in our community. And yes, great goodness, it is exposure season. And we're going to see more and more of this as the time goes, because the universe is showing you that you got to rely on you and the God in you. Let's continue. So we got the news, okay, telling you it's time to give up on facts. Okay, this is late. It's time to give up on facts, or at least lay them down in favor of a more useful weapon: emotions. God damn it, the news is telling you to be more emotional, be more in your feelings. Don't trust your mind. Don't trust your brain. Don't use your logic. Don't use your prefrontal cortex, which is there for reasoning and critical thinking. No, tap into the dog in you. Be for the dogs, not the dog stars, but that dog in you, that animal within you. Tap into that animal, which is the demon in you. And we all got animals in us. We all eat animals. So we all have animal in us. Everything that you consider evil is part of the animal kingdom, including graping. Dolphins grape other dolphins. 4 dolphins will surround a female dolphin, and one dolphin would hit her in the head, another dolphin would hit her in the tail, the other 2 dolphins will hit her on the side. When the dolphin is knocked the fuck out, a dolphin will go and grape that dolphin. Cannibalism is in the animal kingdom. If the animal is not up to par or in good health, even cat will consume their baby cat if the cat is not up to par and is young enough to eat. As cute as cats are, as cute as dolphins are, right? These are all traits that are in the animal kingdom that are in man. When you come out of the womb, you first start moving not on 2 feet. You have to learn to walk. When you first start moving independently, you start moving on all 4s. So you are essentially an animal, but the news is telling you, nah, tap into your emotions. Forbes magazine, these are established publications. You must not do your own research when it comes to science. New York Times, questioning authority has become too much of a good thing, and it's killing people. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Critical thinking, as we're taught to do it, isn't helping in the fight against misinformation. You think you're not at war? You think there's no war against you? You think shit is sweet out here? But there's people suffering because y'all think it's sweet. And it's people that look like you, but it's the worst type of people. I mean, it's the people that really need you, though. Let's continue going. These are also the leaders. Okay? These people are of age. Their brains are not underdeveloped. Sukiana, 31 at the VMAs. Okay? Sexy Red, 25. Kevin Gates, spit in a pregnant girl's mouth. I mean, goddamn. I mean, think about that. Think about that, y'all. He spit in a pregnant girl's mouth on stage. This is what we've come to. This is the reality of where we are. Melanated people. And I had to block out the spit because it was I just can't see it, you know. It made me queasy, so I had to block it out. But there's definitely unedited pictures. But this is the war where we're not using the tools that we have. So let's get into the tools. But I just want to show you that these people are of age. They're not young. They know what they're doing. And they're doing it for money at the end of the day. They're doing it for money. And we're in a spiritual war, okay? As long as the white man is God in America, the black man will be the devil. I'm going to say that again. As long as the white man, which I'm talking about Jesus, right, is God in America, which Jesus is, and I'm not knocking, you know, if you're Christian, whatever, make him black, though, in your mind, because if not, you're always going to see white people as better, as higher subconsciously, because that is the program. So as long as the white man is God in America, the black man will always be the devil. So it says, you think turning water into wine is cool? 2,000 years ago, I wasn't even white, which is a fact, right? This is a war. This is a war. Even when it comes to the esoteric knowledge, quote unquote, the occult and things like that, like I like to lean more into the metaphysics of African traditional religions, the Orishas, the Neteru, the Loa, things like that. We have enough spirituality that has sustained us before there was even a thing called Jesus, before there was even a thing called a Christian, before there was even a thing called the Abraham or Moses, before there was even a Genesis. How people still think that every animal in the world could fit in an ark for 40 days or 40 nights. How people think that a man could sit inside a whale for 3 days, like Jonah. How people think that a man could raise a staff and part a Red Sea and just walk on land while the sea is parted in real life and not see that reoccurring in this day and time is beyond me. But that's up to you. But we have spiritual systems that are enough. We have spiritual systems that are powerful. We have spiritual systems that make things happen. Believe it or not, all these things that are happening around the world, all these uprisings with the Africans, with the Haitians, with the people even in South America, right? With down to the Ukraine, down to the war in the quote unquote Holy Land, right? The Israel-Palestine thing in the quote unquote Holy Land. All these things are caused by you tapping into your higher nature. Because we can't keep staying at the bottom, y'all. The melanated man and woman is at the bottom and worldwide. It's just the truth. And you got to really be honest about that. We went from pyramids to projects, from prophets to paupers, from deities to EB motherfucking T. A lot of people was talking shit during that pandemic on EBT. Yeah, but I ain't taking the jab. But let them have taken that EBT. You will see a lot of more motherfuckers jabbed up. A lot of y'all was stunting hard. Yeah, I ain't taking that jab. Yeah, I ain't doing that. Yeah, because you got that Section 8 and that EBT, so you ain't got no job. So of course you ain't taking it. But I know who you are, for real. So let's continue. So these are gods of the Black community. These are the real gods, right? nowadays. Money and social media. If we keeping it real, the dollar bill says, "In God we trust." That's what the dollar bill says. "In God we trust." This is the God of the Black community. Even if you talk about the gender wars, that's a lot of what people talking about is money. If you're going 50-50, who's making the more money, right? Kevin Samuels got to make 100,000 years, $1,000 or more, which after taxes is only about 75, 80K, but I digress. Got to make $100,000 a year or more, right? This is the talk, right? Who has the most money? Who could, oh, I fly private, he can't fly private. Oh, I fly private, she can't fly private. So I'm better. I'm different. I'm elite. I'm more powerful. But when the people, the boys in blue come, we all in the same gang. We all in the same gang. You just, how Kanye said, you just a nigga in the coop. You just a nigga in the coop. But if you were people of respect, if you were people of power, see, we all love Black Panther, right? And why do we love Black Panther? Not just because it was a good movie, right? But because it showed us who we truly are. It showed us how we should handle ourselves around Europeans and Caucasians. It showed us what it is when you respect yourself and you have your own community and you worship your own gods and your own deities. And you have your own spiritual culture and you have your own ways of being and you nurture these through your family and through your community. These things can be done in America with the powers of your ancestors, your God, right? Oh, nah, the government's going to get us. Look what they did to Black Wall Street. Look what they did to Malcolm. Look what they did to marketing. It's 2023, my nigga. You have the internet. But niggas are still making the same. And these are men that are saying this too, which is the most embarrassing. Oh, they gonna get us. White man's not gonna. I was talking to this dude on Facebook. Oh, the white man ain't gonna let you do that. You crazy? The CIA, the FBI, you crazy, son? No, you crazy, nigga. If you don't know that you have God in you, if you don't know that you have the ability to, there's no limits. Shout out to Sun Ra. There's no limit to the thing that you can do. Right? If you don't understand that you're not even from this planet, that your DNA is alien DNA. Do you know your DNA is alien DNA? Scientifically proven that there's alien DNA in you. If you're melanated, alien meaning they don't know where it comes from. There's no trace here on Earth. You know what the privilege it is to have this soul of a melanated being? It's an honor. But like Kanye said, Instagram got your bitch. Instagram got your bitch. Social media. You know how annoying it is for me to date a woman, right? You know how annoying it is when I date a woman or I go out with a woman and she starts reciting social media shit or social media tropes or social media perspectives. It's so annoying. But that's happening more and more nowadays. People are getting conditioned more and more and getting their ideas more and more. They say if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. I would dare say that it's worse now than it was during slavery. Because people were fighting to read. Frederick Douglass fought to read. People ain't fighting to read anymore. People ain't fighting to study. In fact, you have spiritual teachers that are coming here on the internet and tell you, oh, you don't need to read. All the answers are within. But yet they're here on social media. It's the irony. You have spiritual teachers that are coming here on social media that are popular that will tell you you don't need to read. All you need to do is go within because all the answers are within. But yet you're watching them on social media, learning from them because they read. They didn't just get all the answers that popped into their head. They read books. But they're telling you not to read because they want to keep you ignorant. And these are people that have the same skin color as you. Because if you're able to critically think for yourself, then you can't be conditioned by them. You can't be a follower. These are our elders. These are the people leading the youth nowadays. This is how bad it is. This is an urgent time. Things have to change. We got to stop being predatory to each other. People can't even go to college nowadays. It's people that look like me and you that are shooting up each other at college campuses now. You don't see this at European colleges that are PWI colleges. It's not because they're better. It's not because they're wiser. It's not because they're smarter. It's because of the culture that we have. The culture is fucked up. They say hip hop is a culture. Hip hop is a culture. But what does culture mean? Culture means to cultivate, just like you would cultivate a plant, just like you cultivate a child. It's a conditioning apparatus. It's designed to mold you and shape you in a certain way. The reason I know about Farrakhan as a young kid is because Public Enemy said, "A follower of Farrakhan. Don't tell me that you know. Don't tell me that you know the man until you understand." So I started listening to Farrakhan because of Public Enemy, right? Ice Cube started getting down with the NOI. So as a young man, I got down with. Well, I wasn't part of the NOI, but I would listen to the brothers here on 125th when I lived in New York at the time, and things like that. That was a culture. Their hip hop at one point was a culture. It was cultivating the knowledge of children. It was cultivating the wisdom of children. The Wu-Tang being 5% nation, it made me want to study 120 lessons and become a 5%er. Because I wanted to know the wisdom. We're a God body. What does that mean? Like, and I'm seeing these brothers on the corner building, and they're wise and they're smart and they're saying these things I don't understand. I want to learn. I'm curious, right? I want to learn. It was at one point of the culture. Now it's throw baby, coochie pink, my booty hole brown. We drilling, we killing, right? Pissing on graves. Parents going to the school, blaming the teacher for why their kids don't know nothing. And it was all based on money, a lot of it. Money and dopamine hits and wanting to feel good about yourself without feeling good internal, because we've been taught that everything external is our salvation, from the drugs to the money to the cars to the homes. And again, I'm not against money. I'm not one of these poor righteous teachers. Please don't confuse Ra Black Storm. I am not down with the poverty, okay? At all. Never have been, never will be, okay? But I'm not going to compromise myself for money. I'm not going to compromise my principles for money. If it's between me and my principles, I'm willing to go back to the essence. If it comes down to that, between me and my children, I'm willing to go back to the essence, or even go to prison to not compromise my morals and my principles. This is what God, and I'm not saying I'm the perfect or anything or whatever. I'm just saying this is what a God does, right? This is the example of pride and honor and royalty and nobility. We used to be called people of nobility. The more civilized Europe, they taught the Europeans how to eat with plates, how to use forks, how to comb their hair, about irrigation, how to use toilets and put toilets in their homes, how to set up a table. These things didn't come from just them. These are the Moors, people that look like you and us, going there civilizing savages for real. Where you think the Europeans got the idea of being missionaries? From the Moors. Moor, the root word of Moor is Mao. Mao is a cat. The word Mao is also in Ma'at. Mao, Ma'at, Moor, Mori, right? Even if you hear the word more, meow, right? The whole cat thing. And the reason they use and you see the cats were right next to the Cometians' thrones, right? Whenever you see command, you see their thrones, you always see these images of cats, even them bringing cats, mummified cats, right? The pharaohs would have, because of a cat's ability to see, right? Cats could see, I believe, and you could, well, y'all don't be doing research anyway, a lot of y'all, but You can research this yourself. Cats, I believe it's 8 to 10 times they could see in the dark, like 10 to 10 times stronger than the average human eye. So a cat will see a spirit in your home, or quote unquote ghost, which is just a dead ancestor in your home that hasn't. A ghost is this. This is what a ghost is, right? Or a spirit being or whatever. These are ancestors, right? This is not no. Let's take the spooky Hollywood shit out of it. These are dead ancestors, could be yours, somebody else's, who hasn't vibrated high enough. They died, but they didn't vibrate high enough to escape the earth realm. So they're still attached to the earth well. Their heart was still heavy, right? That's the heart light as a feather thing. So you could fly up when you pass, but their heart was so heavy that they were still stuck here on the earth realm. So them being stuck here on the earth realm, right, makes them a ghost. So they're able to move in that astral body, if you want to speak, but not necessarily in the etheric body. We'll get into that another time. But we all need money. We all need currency. We all need that. But what are you going to compromise? Because you are the money, essentially. Whatever you do is the money. Even if you work at a job and you're flipping fries at McDonald's, it's you that's flipping the fries. So you are the money. You're a human resource, right? If you go to get your birth certificate, it's in a human resource office. You are the money. But people aren't even taking their care. People take better care of their car than they do their own bodies. People will clean their car out, clean their engine out, make sure the wheels is nice and shiny, right? Put the good armor oil and good wax on it. But then they'll put like Popeyes and tons of bullshit in their body and smoke tons of cigarettes and tons of garbage. And we all have our times and things like that. But now is not the time. It's what I'm telling you. Now is the time where we got to start giving this shit up. We got to start being who we are. And I hate to be the messenger. And I hate to have to give it to you like this. But it's time, nigga. I'm saying it's time. You got to change. And you got to be willing to put in the work to change. And you got to do the shadow work. And if you have feelings about money and abundance, you got to shake that too, because it could be vice versa. You could have put too much weight in money and think once you get, look, I done got a lot of money. I done lived with my parents. I have a parent that's very successful. And the seen Benzes and all that. I had an apartment at 13, my own fridge, my own entrance, all that. The mini mansion, right? This is part of my life experience. I also lived in the projects. I've told y'all this millions of times, but to the new people, right? I've also sold dope and made money, right? I've lived different lives and I've seen both sides. And I'm here to tell you, if you have 500, 600, 800, $1 million, that doesn't mean you're going to be happy. I always say this. I wish every one of you get the money that you think you want to realize that it's not going to make you happy. You have to be happy now. You have to feel blessed now. Them likes on social media don't matter. Yeah, it's cool to have likes and all that. But one, if you don't have a business, it doesn't matter. Two, if it's not your mission to spread information or spread the gospel, then it doesn't matter. You're just doing it for the dopamine hit, which means nothing. Right? And it's of no consequence. You have to come to this world with whatever your purpose is. And your purpose can be found in your birth chart, right? North Node. You can look to see what that is and get busy with what that is. And I always say this, you already know what your purpose is. You already know what your passion is. You already know what you do for free and that you love to do. You just want somebody to tell you, or you just don't think it's possible. And sometimes you're supposed to do something new that nobody thought of, get ridiculed for it just to see it blow up. Just like Kanye with the Yeezys. Remember when the Yeezys first came out? Nobody thought Yeezys are ugly. What's up with these dad shoes? Yeezy saved Adidas. Yeezy was making tons of money from Adidas with those dad shoes, with his inventive and creative shoes. To the point where the new owner was trying to get him back until the ADL was like, nah, Kanye wasn't wrong. Because the new owner of Adidas, he was like, well, Kanye made a little mistake because he was trying to get him back. ADL called him that night. Next morning, the dude from Adidas put out a statement: "We will not be working with Kanye." This is the pressure, but you know, this world will reward you for bullshit. This is why whenever you see Sexy Red, you see that stack on the ear, because it's to influence women that if you act this way, you're gonna get the bag. This is why they'll say Black China is making so much millions of dollars on her OnlyFans, and then she comes out and say that's not true. I was making $1 million, but they're gonna say, oh, she was making 20 million. Why? So that your daughters, so that you will sign up, so you could get the bag. But you don't realize you're the money. Your creativity is the money. Your inventiveness is the money. People always talk about, oh, we built America. Well, why you ain't building nothing now? Where's the new buildings? Where's the new creations? All we got is gossip podcast. Like that's our creation, gossip podcast now. Everybody's fucking Tasha K on the internet to make money. Like that's the proliferation. So these are the gods right now. Money and social media. Instagram. These are the gods right now. And we gotta switch our gods because they're not leading us obviously to salvation. And neither is Jesus. Right now where I live, there's about 4 churches in a half-mile radius. And these motherfuckers ain't saved, I can tell you that. I don't care how much they baptized. They definitely are not living by the Spirit of Jesus. So that's not working for us. That's not even our God. That was something given to us. Let's continue. So we are transcending and we are transcending. This is why you see all these things happening. All these people are leaving, right? Well, all these relationships are falling apart. Drake dropped a whack album. You're seeing all these wars because we gotta lift the fog over our eyes, right? It's a return of the gods, right? This Ring of Fire thing is a return of the gods. It's really ushering in that new energy. And we're gonna have another big eclipse next year, right? Which is gonna be across, right? The Great American Solar Eclipse. And that's gonna be another big thing, right? But these events, these solar events, these celestial events, these cosmological events are designed for you that are tapped in, you that are doing the work, you that are going to be doing the work, you that are trying to be your best self and are willing to discipline yourself to get to your best self so you could be part of the vanguard, so you could be part of the help, so you could be the one. You know why there's a lot of stress? I was thinking about this the other day in the melanated community, because most of it is ran by single mothers. And I'm not saying that to down women or anything, but a lot of times women need a man to tell them it's going to be okay. Don't worry. I got you. We got this. Everything's going to be all right. And because there's not men telling women that, there's a high level of anxiety. There's a high level of stress. There's a high level of people following people that are triggering them about the next tragedy, the next bad thing, the next wrong thing, and not giving no solutions. But to buy my crystal or take my course. So we are transcending and we are transcending. So that's why things are falling apart. That's why these wars are happening. Don't look at it as necessarily a bad thing. Look at it as I got to check myself and I got to see what I need to eliminate. I got to see what I need to structure. I got to see what I need to discipline myself. I got to see the things I need to stop doing. I'm not talking about it being I always say a goody-goody, so to speak, right? I'm talking about living a righteous life, but a life that is a light of life, where you are the light when you are moving. And you are showing and proving that you are God here on earth. You are God man and God woman. That's what you're here to be. If you are in this meat suit, that's why you're going through all these traumas and struggles, because it takes pressure to crush and create a diamond. You got to crush that coal to create a diamond, and you are the coal. It's literally a metaphor of who you are. Why you're honored to be in this meat suit, this melanated meat suit, with all the tricks and gadgets that it has. You could come back here and be in another meat suit, right? You don't think that. But the spirit doesn't care about your race. That's something, again, man-made concept. Spirit cares about getting the job done. And if you got to come back as a Caucasian to get it right, then you'll come back as a Caucasian to get it right. It's just easier with these, with you melanin and the quick twitch function and the way the pineal gland works. If you have more melanin, we all know the gifts and things like that, right? If you want to tap in, it's just easier. Like I was watching, shout out to Dreamwise. I was watching, what's that movie? I still got it up here. Let me share this. Wonderful story of Henry Sugar, and he Dreamwise. Actually, I was watching one of his videos. He put me up on this. It's like 32 minutes. I highly recommend you watching on Netflix. It just shows the power of dedication, the power of meditation, and the spiritual abilities that you could tap into. And I did a little research. It's actually based on a true story. So check it out when you have a chance. But these are the powers that you can tap into if you are willing to do the work and transcend. But it's not going to be given to you, melanated man and woman. It's not going to be handed to you on a platter. The aliens are not going to come down and give it to you. If they ain't come during the pandemic, if they ain't come during slavery, if they ain't come during the Civil War, if they ain't come, do you know there was a time period where Caucasians would win a baseball game or something like that, right? And they would come through the black neighborhoods and destroy them just for fun? Just for fun, just for shits and giggles. They will find the nearest melanated neighborhood and run through their homes. Same thing that the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. It's no different. I'm not saying white people are the enemy. They're not the enemy. You are. The man in the mirror is the enemy. And I've given you several examples of people that look like you that are the enemy. So that reflection is showing you that you are your own worst enemy. You have to fight the demon within yourself. Actually, on my phone. Let me show y'all. This real quick. I just actually saw this before and I saved it for you because I love you. I'm not sure I hear this.
We only have one enemy. We only have one enemy. The European is not our enemy. The only enemy that we have is the Judas that dwells within. And each of us is born with a Judas and a Messiah. And the Judas was born in you to make sure you never reach your divine purpose. And the Messiah was born in you to make sure Judas fails.
And that's what it is, family. That's what it is. That's what it is. The war is within. The war is within. So the trance is actually meditative when you are in trance. It's actually you being in meditation. But you could be entranced by anything. You could be entranced by a woman. This was shown in the Matrix with the woman in the red dress, right? Being a distraction to Neo. And Morpheus was explaining that you have to stay focused. Remember, when Neo took the red pill, right? He didn't go into like a paradise, stress-free arena. He was eating slop. He saw the people, they had rags. They were looking dirty and dusty, right? He was showing the harsh reality of Zion and the struggle they had to endure to fight off the sentinels in the Matrix and to fight off the agents in the Matrix. So they knew that they were at war, and it took war to get to peace. But it wasn't just physical war. It first had to start as a mental war to where they were unplugged from the matrix before they could even understand that they were at war with something. Before that, they were caught in illusion, escapism, living like everyone else. So we are trans-ending. We're ending these trances, and society is showing us that our security, our comfort zone is being pulled away from us. Let's continue. Hit that like button if you're new here. Hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate. Oh, there you go. All right, let's go. I'm already at the 2-hour mark, but I don't have much more. So what people think this toxic system looks like, all right? What it actually looks like. Okay. So people think this is what fighting is, what fighting a war against the system looks like, right? What they should be doing to get ahead, right? And you'll see the people with their signs and their picket signs and their hashtags and blah blah blah. But when it comes to the kids, nobody cares. Nobody cares that we have 80% uptick in suicides, and God knows what it's been. I didn't want to look. I couldn't even look at the stats. You know what I'm saying? As an empath, I'm like, I don't even want to look at the stats of what it is post pandemic. Because when I saw since 2001 to 2020 to 2019, it went up 80%. I can imagine during the pandemic. Right now, the black man is the most suicidal on the planet. The black man is the most suicidal on the planet because he's not in tune with his inner self. So because he's not in tune with his spiritual self or his inner self, what's happening is he doesn't have anybody to turn to. He doesn't have any woman he could confide in. He doesn't have any women he could trust. Because you should, as a man, have women that you could trust. And the best women are going to be a spiritual woman. I'm going to tell you that now. It's going to be a woman that's sincerely doing the spiritual work and that sincerely loves you. Right? And this could be a woman of any culture, not just melanated, of any culture. But if you are a man, you need to be tapped into your inner self. Reading books and watching YouTubes ain't it. Being the smartest person amongst your friends ain't it. You got to be a person that's doing shadow work. You got to be a person that's healing your childhood trauma. You got to become a person that's healing your relationship trauma. You got to change your diet. You got to get your ass in the gym. There's a lot of requirements being a spiritual man than it's different being a spiritual woman. A lot of being a spiritual woman, you could chill doing a lot of shit. You could just chill and meditate and vibrate high, and a lot of things are just going to magnetically come to you. But as a man, you got to do a lot more because it's an external energy being a man. Female energy is internal, masculine energy is external, right? There's contraction, feminine energy, expansion, masculine energy. And you're born in this masculine avatar for a purpose and to embody that energy. You're born in a female avatar to embody that energy, right? And what that consists of. And the way you understand feminine energy is by understanding the deities, the Oshuns, the Yamayas, the Het Herus, the Orsets, the Ma'ats, and Oyas and so forth and so on. Same thing with men. The way you understand masculine energy is the Herus and the Herakahutis and the Oguns and the Shangos and the Legbas and so forth and so on. These are aspects of energy that is within you, as above, so below. So if you're just looking at them as entities outside yourself and not realizing that they are also within you, then you're still religious. You still have that religious Jesus type mindset. You still have that go to church type mindset. And that's not what this is about. This is about you coming into the knowledge of yourself. The Commissions taught man know thyself. But at the end of the day, we got to save these babies. Like, that's what it's really about. And we got kids out here that are lost in the source. They don't know left from right, right from wrong. And we not teaching them. We're not teaching them anymore at all. I'm going to share another video of y'all. Yep, great goodness, right. Children are the casualty of war. Yep, this is fact. Black men need to develop a trust. That is a fact. Yeah, develop a trust, get some life insurance, right? You should have some life insurance in case something happens to you. These are all the priorities, but no, niggas got PlayStations though. Niggas got $500 PlayStations and 20 games that are $80. I just bought a PlayStation. I'm about to sell that shit. I'm just waiting for like close to Christmas, so I know I could, sell it for what it's worth. But I bought that shit like last month. I'm about to sell that shit. I realize I don't have time. Because you got to do mad work just to learn 2K. This ain't like 2K 12 or 13. This shit different now. You gotta do all sorts. I don't got the time. I don't got time to learn Spider-Man. I got Spider-Man. I don't got time. I don't have time. So I'm about to sell that shit. So if you're in New York, you're looking for a PlayStation, holla at me, inbox me. PlayStation 5, I got you. But because November is just gonna be out, I'm gonna just put it out anyway. But I'm saying all that to say that there's bigger things to focus on. There's bigger things to focus on that are out here, and we need to work on developing these kids. I'm going to share another video on Instagram, which is going to be by NYC Energy. She's also a reader, and she's a tarot reader. She's very good. She actually probably won't even remember or know about this, but she actually did a reading for me about a relationship. It was a free quick reading on her Instagram page, and that shit was on point like an arrowhead, something I didn't even see coming. And she had it. She already was on deck with it. So I'm just trying to pull up her page real quick. But yeah, this live video, she's actually a teacher though. Her secular life, she's a teacher. And she's gonna show you what's going on in the schools, right? Which was eye-opening and shocking, but not so shocking because this is the world we are in. And these, again, are melanated beings. So let us watch. Let me share it.
School. And my mind is blown by some of the things that parents just aren't doing. And I hate to go on live and do this, right? But I have to. I was going to record a whole video and then post it. And I'm like, why am I going to waste my time recording when I can just say it to everybody? The state of education right now is not looking real good. It's looking real ignorant. It's looking real TikTok-ish. It's looking like y'all just give y'all children devices and that's it. You not talking with your on the planet of Earth. Let's start with hygiene. It's the third week of school. I should know now. This is not middle school. This isn't elementary school. This is high school. Deodorant, parents, deodorant is a real thing. I'm not mad at the kids. I'm mad at the parents. Yep, I'm talking to the parents. I'm not talking to the parents because I'm a teacher. I'm talking as a parent who had to do this with her own children. If you give your child deodorant, you must also talk with them about how to use it properly. I'm making all these faces because if y'all smelt what I smelt, we don't make great money as teachers, although I make really good money because I'm that. Okay. However, I should not have to put up with the smells I'm smelling. And I'm talking about underarms at 9 o'clock in the morning. On who? What were you doing? Parents, your children have to shower and you have to check. I still check after my kids to this day, and they're 14 and 16 to see if they have showered. You know why you want to check that? Is because when they get to school, you're dealing with a population of children that can be mean, nasty, cruel, impolite, disrespectful. You don't want your child bullied? They need to take a shower. You don't want your child talked about, laughed about, joned on? You got to talk to them about how to use deodorant properly. You have to talk with your young ladies, your girls that live in your house about proper feminine hygiene. That is a totally separate conversation. You have to talk to them about getting up in the hole, getting up in the holes. I'm being dead ass, y'all. I thought that this was only middle school because I started off teaching in middle school. After 21 years, I'm still having the same conversation. Look at this. Look what I have set up in my classroom for your children. Yeah, I'm doing it. If y'all don't like it, come off my live. I do not care. Look, I go out and I shop for your kids. I have pads here for them. I have 2 kinds of deodorant, the spray one and the cream Lumi. Please get some Lumi for your children. Jeez, I have mouthwash. These are for your kids. Toothpaste. Yep. Because when I look at some of them, I'm like, baby, did you brush your teeth today? How you in a group and your breath? Come on now. I have lotion for them. Listen, I know we have a lot of our Caucasian folks on the line. But if you are one of our colored folk, we use lotion. Why are y'all letting y'all kids outside without it? Lip stuff, like lip gloss, Vaseline. Those are necessities, guys. These kids sit in groups all day. So if your child is in a group, please make sure their hygiene is together. I don't want to smell another one. I don't want to smell another one, and I'm tired of it. I'm literally sitting here. I'm supposed to be grading. Look, I even got my computer on to grade, and all I could think of, y'all got to do it. Especially talk with your females about when their cycle is over. Their pH balance might be a little off. They need to sit in a warm tub with vinegar, apple cider vinegar. It's kind of like flush out things. Maybe they didn't wash properly. Maybe they using tampons wrong or whatever. Okay. But you got to talk with them about how to reset that pH balance. And here's the kicker, parents, how to change your underwear. Yep, it's that bad. I can smell that much. So even if you don't have as much money, you have a cell phone, which means you have running water somewhere, which means you can wash that underwear and then put it back on if that's what you got to do. But the smells are not okay. Y'all got to talk with your kids, especially talk with your fellas. They want to wear the same jacket and hoodie every day. It stinks. You stink. You played basketball. You played football. You ran outside. You stink. You smell like outside. Parents, this is me not trying to attack, but me, and I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to me because I do these things with my kids, but I am talking with y'all about the things that I'm noticing in the 3rd week of school after 21 years. And these are high schoolers. Now, another thing that y'all need to talk about with your children is safety. Safety protocol. Please tell your children to stop wearing their keys on their neck. Why do I got to tell y'all this? It is if I see a child walking with a key on their neck, that is a poster child for I'm a latchkey kid. I'm walking home by myself. My parents are not home. I am home alone. Do you know if I notice it, how many other people have noticed it? Because let me tell you about your kids. They don't switch routines. What they do is what they do. If they get up and they walk down Georgia Avenue and they turn right and they walk to the school, then they do that every day. You have to talk with your kids about switching up their routine so that somebody's not watching them. I see kids coming here, they got keys hanging off of their wrist and their neck. And I always tell them, do you know that that's a sign letting everybody know that you go home by yourself? Nah, my mom is home. Not with that key on your neck. And if your parent is home and you still have that key on your neck, somebody knows that you're about to open that door by yourself and you're not paying attention, and they can run up on you at any moment. Parents, it is important that you also talk with your children about not doing TikTok videos in front of their house number. If the house number is posted, that means everybody now has your address. The whole social media, the world of social media has the address. We just got to be a little bit smarter, people. The other thing I want to talk about, email addresses. If your child is in high school, at this point, they should have a Gmail address. Please check their Gmail address and make sure that it is professional. I have students who are trying to email me assignments and I can't even open it because one kid's was, let me tell you what one kid's email address was, which I couldn't even believe. He had the nerve to have that. Oh, I don't think I'm allowed to say it. Okay, I may not be allowed to say it. Okay, I may not be allowed to say it. So I'm not going to say it. But it was an email address that was completely inappropriate. I'm not going to say it because they probably use that and I don't want y'all blowing up their email address. Come on. Professional email addresses. Talk to them about that. Or an email address that is not offensive. Okay? Now, let's talk about manners. Parents, y'all don't teach y'all children to speak. When the kids walk into my classroom, the first thing that they must do is say something. Hello, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon. What's up, Miss G? It doesn't have to be formal, but they must speak. But I'm realizing that your kids haven't even been taught to speak in the mornings. Parents, what the hell? Who raised y'all? Because I know whoever raised you did not raise you to wake up and not speak. If somebody sees you and they don't speak, it means they ain't dealing with you. What Cardi say? If I see you and I don't speak, that means I don't fuck with you. But your children have to fuck with me because I'm fucking with their grades. So your kids have to speak. I make them speak when they come in. Everybody does. They always say, good morning, Miss Perry, good morning, ha, 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 all of that. Somebody today was like, oh my God, why we got to keep doing this? You know, I lift them up. So did the class too. Of course, the class got into them. It's called manners. You walk into a room, you must speak because you're the one who walked into the room. Parents, why y'all not teaching your children to speak? Why are you not telling them to say good morning, good afternoon? What's wrong? Where's the miscommunication? Are you just giving your kids to their electronic devices? They still have to be raised. I don't care how old they are, they still have to be raised. I was standing up front in a class today and I was teaching, and a young man got up. He's tall. He got up to do whatever, and then he walks in front of me back to his seat. Manners. Why are you walking in front of me when I'm teaching? He was like, oh, my bad. I did notice that I started to walk behind you. Ew, and no, not manners. You cannot walk behind me either. I'm a whole female. You cannot walk behind me. I am a woman in a dress. Excuse me, y'all. It's not that short. I know y'all like, she ain't wear that little dress now. But I'm a woman in a dress. So no, young man, you can't walk behind me because if I take a step back and your arm swings, you done groped me like a student did today. Parents, you have to teach your male students how to hug females. I had a young man today, a lot of the kids hug me. I don't have a problem with hugging, but I always go to the side. I hug to the side as much as possible so that we're not, doing body to body contact. One student, I was walking by, I was like, hi, good morning, baby. And I kept going. The student came back to hug me, but he hugged me from the back. When he hugged me from the back, he groped every bit. Everything I got up here is now his. Now he did say, my bad, Ms. Gregory. I ain't mean that. Oh my God, he was sorry immediately. But dude, first of all, you're like 6'2". Why are you hugging me from the back and I'm only 5'3", sir? And then when he hugged me, he put his arm literally right here. And I mean, everything was touched. So I had to have a talk with all of my students about proper touch. We won't hug anymore. You can dap me, you can pound me, you can elbow me, but please don't. But parents, it is okay for you to talk with your children about manners, respect, saying thank you, saying excuse me. The other part, burping out loud in a classroom, completely inappropriate. Nobody wants to smell your bologna, hot dog, taco meat breath. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We don't want to smell all that gas shit coming back up because it's a small room and we're in a tight space. Little did y'all know, I teach 36 kids in each class, 36 to 33 students in every class that I have. So the class is packed. You know, we haven't had classes this size in a long time. They're usually 25 is best. You can help kids at, 25 students. When there's 36 to 40 kids in a room, you can't be burping out loud in everybody's face. And then you don't say, excuse me, or you wonder why anybody's upset because you just burped. Come on, parents. Then a student got up and spit in a trash can today. And he really couldn't understand what the problem was. What's wrong with that? I had to spit my stuff out. You spit in a trash can? Then a young lady came in here. She was eating sunflower seeds. Y'all know I don't let kids eat in the classroom. She's eating sunflower seeds, popping them in her mouth, and then putting the seeds on an index card. Why is that nasty? Because your spit is now on the desk, on the worksheet I have to collect, on the pen. Y'all get where I'm going here with all of this? I'm just having a talk with parents about what you should be talking with your kids about, because this is only week 3. And we having some little minor foundational issues that lead to bigger issues if they're not nipped in the bud. What else? Oh, students coming up and talking to me without saying good morning, hello first, or they're texting me without addressing me, texting me like I'm a friend. Tell them that these are adults. So it's not, hey, what happened with my grade? Excuse me? Who are you talking to? Y'all need to teach your children how to email. I did when my children were in elementary school. I taught my children how to properly email their teachers when there was a concern. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, so-and-so. I have a question about such and such. Please and thank you. Your signature at the bottom. Why are you not teaching your kids how to address me? I'm a grown woman. You're not talking about some, hey, what's up with my grade? You'll never hear from me again. I don't have to go off about that because that's a student talk. I did talk with my students about that. Now, let's talk about knowledge. I'm tired of your kids saying, that's mine's. Give me mine's. That's not hers, it's mine's. I'm looking at y'all because I know you didn't hear the issue with that. Mine's? Mine's is a place where you would be booby-trapped, where you would blow up and die. Mine's is a place where you'd find gold and diamonds and jewels and you'd be filthy rich, so you wouldn't have to say anything to me. Yours has an S on the end. Mine does not. Please, parents, stop letting them put the S on the end of the word because it is a immediate neon sign for miseducation. When they go on their college interviews, the interviewees are listening, the interviewers are listening for that slur, that slip. The word is not mine's. Mine's is a place that you work in, or a place where a booby trap has been set for you to blow up and die. Minefield explosive. Mine is hurt, and I'm tired of saying this. Okay, you're gonna have my kids not even get their inheritance on my deathbed because I wasted all of my air teaching your children that the word is mine and not mine's. And I do give a whole speech with it. Ask them about it. Do y'all even talk with your kids when they come home? And not how was your day and move on. I literally call my kids every day when I'm still at work or they're at home or whatever. We FaceTime and we talk about the day. Each child, and I have 3. I have to listen to each of them go through their day. Even if you tune out for a little bit, please allow them to speak so that you can hear the way that they speak, so that you can correct their speech. It is important in the society that we're in because I'm watching it now. I see what's happening. It is the world of the haves and the have-nots right now. Okay, so those of you who are in urban areas, they got you set up to work at McDonald's because you keep saying mine's. And they're setting up other areas to work in other areas because they know how to speak. I need you to listen to your children speaking. If they constantly stutter, if they're constantly saying correct them. Teach them to think before they actually speak. Today, another miseducation. We were talking about September 11th. Today is the 22nd anniversary of September 11th. It was quite an emotional moment for me. But we were talking about why do we celebrate or commemorate these moments? So somebody said that they celebrate the 4th of July. We asked them, why did you celebrate the 4th of July? And they were like, oh, because we like the fireworks. So we asked them, I asked them, did you know the foundational history of the 4th of July? None of your children knew it. I just want you to know that. None of your children knew about Independence Day. They all told me when I finally said Independence Day, it was like, oh, that's when slavery was over. The 4th of July? We thought at first that they had gotten it mixed up with Juneteenth. Nope. So I asked them, all right, we're talking about the independence of the United States. What year was the independence of the United States? Wasn't that when Martin Luther King wrote that thing? This is what your kids are telling me in their senior year. You should be ashamed. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I am, parents. I'm talking to you because they're only in class for a certain amount of time, which means some things have to be talked about, discussed, rehearsed, drilled. They should understand why it is that we do or don't celebrate Independence Day, that it's our freedom from the British rule. So, okay, that's fine. They don't care about that. Cool. That was 1776 Declaration of Independence. Cool. Not a big deal. So we asked about Juneteenth. Why do we celebrate Juneteenth? Now they knew this one. Oh, that's when the slaves found out they were free. Cool. When did slavery end? Crickets. Somebody said 1960 something when they did that march. Yeah, that's what I did. I just couldn't. Yeah. That lady that sat in the back, like Harriet Tubman was in the back of the bus. This is your children, been in school since kindergarten. Let's just forget kindergarten. Let's say they've been in school since 1st grade. Your high school seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen are telling me that slavery ended when Harriet Tubman sat at the back of the bus. And when Martin Luther King wrote that thing. That's what your children are telling me. Now, what I do for them is I tell them they can, to help them understand when it ended. I say they didn't understand.
So you guys can go to her channel and watch the rest. It's very enlightening, as you can see. Again, she's also a great reader if you need a reading. I do readings too, but see, I'm a god. Like I'm abundant. So me putting somebody on and telling somebody to follow somebody and go get readings from them, and don't stop me. I got people I've been reading since 2016. So it ain't a big deal for me to get one or another and talk to you about your boyfriend or your girlfriend, which is what most of y'all do anyway. It's about relationships, not about spiritual development. But because it's not about spiritual development, this is where we are today. This is what the children are going through. This is the future. This is what's happening. And we are not centered on the real grand triangle, which is man, woman, and child. That is the future. That is what our existence is all about. And I guarantee you a lot of these motherfuckers been in Young Pharaoh's chat. They've been in Tariq Nasheed's chat. The parents, they've been in, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying a lot of these people have been in these chats of these popular YouTubers, right? These popular Instagrammers, these influencers. And the children still don't know shit. The children still come to school stinking. The children still come to school unequipped, right? My daughters, they know from mortgages to the businesses need lights. Like I talked to my kids when they was 8 years old. I talked to my daughters about sex. Until they asked, ew, yeah, ew, nasty, dad. But guess what? If I tell them about sex, then I don't have to worry about Sexy Red teaching her about sex. I don't have to worry about some nasty, disgusting boy at school showing her a penis when I could open up a book and say, this is what anatomy looks like on a man. This is when a man and vagina comes together. This is what brought you to the world. This is how this works, right? As 8, 9-year-old children, right? Breaking it down to them in the simplest way so that they can understand it. This is what we're supposed to do as God bodies. It's not about knowing what the government's going to do next. A lot of y'all think y'all deep because you think you know what the government's going to do next. Let me tell you something. If the government was really going to shoot a frequency at y'all right? I ain't even do a video. I ain't even comment. I'm like, I'm gonna just stay off this one, right? I'm gonna let them do what they want to do. The government's gonna shoot. If the government is gonna do something to you, they're not gonna tell you. 9/11, you didn't know it was going to happen. There was no warning. There was no alert. There was no way. You're not going to know what's going to happen. When the pandemic came, there was no warning. There was no alert. You didn't know it was going to happen. It just happened. You can't control life. A lot of y'all have these deep anxieties because you're trying to control life. You can't control life. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. The only thing you can do is stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And a lot of y'all ain't staying ready so you don't have to get ready. And that's really the problem. And that's the big problem. Y'all think y'all know it all, but everybody's suffering. The children are suffering. The future is suffering. This is what I was raised on when I officially started. This is part of the 120 lessons from the 5% nation. So I'm going to go over this real quick if I can find. Oh, wait, hold up, Big Swole Up. Why is it not? This is weird. Oh, duh. Okay. So it says, who is the 85%, which is on top? It says the 85%, they are the uncivilized people, poison animal eaters, right? Slaves from mental death and power, people who do not know the true and living God, which is you, or their origin in this world. And they worship that they do not know what? The aliens, the demiurge, the egregors, the Mother Jesus, Muhammad, Allah, right? Everybody else but yourself. The politicians, when we finally get a black leader, oh, it's gonna be on. We're gonna knock out everybody in the world. We're gonna rule again. Worship that they know not what, who are easily led in the wrong direction, but hard to be led in the right direction. So this is the masses of people, the 85%, right? This is the masses of people, okay? Who are the 10%? So the 10% would be considered your Freemasons, your secret societies, right? The rich slave makers of the poor, who teach the poor lies to believe that the almighty true and living God is a spook and cannot be seen by the physical eye, otherwise known as the bloodsuckers of the poor. Self-explanatory. Who are the 5% in the poor part of the earth? They are the poor righteous teachers. Now, we ain't with that poor righteous. We ain't with that poor poverty. You know, this was written back in the 50s and the 60s, so that was a different time, but we ain't poor no more. These are the righteous teachers who do believe in the teachings of the 10% and are all wise and know who the true and living God is and teach that the living God is the Son of Man or the light of man, the supreme being, the black man of Asia, Asiatic black man, and teach freedom, justice, and equality to all, not just melanated people, not just, aliens, not just whoever, to all the human family of the planet Earth, otherwise known as civilized people. Also, our Muslim and Muslim sons. Obviously, we've advanced since the 60s, so we don't have to call ourselves Muslims or Muslim sons. But that was the language used at the time. But the point is that there are designated breakdown of people here in this world, and there are only 5% out of 100 that are really going to be doing this work. There are only a few of you. A lot of you that are watching are not going to watch this for entertainment and going to go back and not do shit, right? And I'm going to give you things to do. So what's the meaning of civilization? Number 17, one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not savage, okay? A lot of y'all literally will call yourself savages because your most popular music artists are calling themselves savages. Well, this is what's happening. You see savages are roaming the streets in our neighborhoods and all around us to the point we can't even trust each other. So this is what's happening. So what is the duty of a civilized person? To teach the uncivilized people who are savage civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of himself, not the knowledge of the world, the government, what's going on outside, if the earth is flat around, the science of everything in life, love, peace, and happiness. All right. So these things need to be re-engineered and recultured in the children, right? We need the children to know these things. It's not enough for us to know these things. We need the children to be aware. So we're almost done. So this is what it looked like, right? This is, you see the Pope right there on the right with the Black Madonna kissing it. And if you look at this picture of the Black Madonna and child, Spirit is so wise that it made the Black woman give birth to a boy, not a girl, to show that there's no separation, to show that we need each other. If you look on this picture on the left, you'll see that the child's 2 fingers are pointing to the cross on the mother's chest. The reason the cross is used in Christianity, which I explained in another video, is the cross is tied to a Legba or Papa Legba, who is a representation of the crossroads. If you study the Yoruba religions or Ifa or something like that, or even Haitian Voodoo, right, you will know that if you don't go to a Legba, if you don't go to the crossroads first, you cannot access the deities. You cannot access the other gods. You cannot access the other pantheon. What does that mean in the practical terms or practical ways that we can use here on planet Earth? So we're not just space age talking shit that doesn't make sense to us. What it means is when you go through life challenges, when shit gets hectic, when you go through things that, you know, may be hard, may be difficult, it means that you are able to go through those crossroads and still be God in those crossroads. Every challenge that you have in life is designed to give you spiritual power. It's designed to make you spiritually stronger. It's designed to take you to the next level. It's designed to help you grow in some way. It's designed for you to learn a lesson. If you, for instance, in relationships, you could be dating someone and be in a relationship with them and it doesn't go right. But if you don't learn from that relationship, you're going to get another relationship and you're going to go through the same thing. And you'll get in another relationship and you'll go through the same thing. And you go through another relationship until you learn and go through the same thing. Till you learn the lesson that you're supposed to learn from that relationship. That is the crossroads. When you're going through a hardship, there's a lesson in that hardship. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's tough. Is it the devil? No. Is somebody hexing you? No. There's a lesson in it that you have to learn, and you're going through that hardship to learn that lesson. A lot of people's biggest struggle, like I like to use 50 Cent, right? If 50 Cent didn't get shot 9 times, he wouldn't be the 50 Cent that is here today. That adversity propelled him to become a different person. My homegirl Ife, shout out to Ife. She's been on the channel as one of my guests, right? Self-love coach Ife, right? She's doing all type of different things that before she had a bout with a disease. She beat the disease. And once she beat the disease, now she's living her best life. Because she went through, if she didn't go through that challenge, she wouldn't be taking all these trips and doing all these things that she didn't do, that she, you know, that wouldn't have life the way it is. But it's because she went through the crossroads, which is when a child is pointing to the crossroad, or the cross on the chest, which is why through Christianity, you're introduced it through the cross, because in your ancient African psychology, your ancient spiritual technology, it already knows about, your DNA already knows about the cross. Your DNA already knows about the crossroads because it's tied into your ancient African ancestry. It's already written in your DNA. So that's why it's so easy to merge into, and you're familiar with that. But when we're talking about the Black Madonna and child, we're talking about, if you, what Elijah Muhammad said, you heal a woman, you heal a nation, because women give birth to children. I hear a lot of posturing and postulation, right? I don't know if that's a word, but there's a lot of things online about women and women being dominant. They've been, especially in the spiritual community, they're being dominant, them being dominant spiritually. Well, these kids, I can't tell, right? I'm not knocking those who are doing spiritual work as women, but if there is this supremacy, then y'all are better than men and y'all are the most high because y'all give birth, then the children should be fine. I shouldn't be having to play a video by NYC Energy about what she's experiencing as a teacher. That should be non-valid. Y'all should be spreading the gospel to each woman, from woman to woman, and nurturing, because women do nest. They do nest with each other. Y'all will get naked around each other and all that and do hair, and it's nothing to it. That's not something men do. And I'm not knocking men, but I am showing you why this whole disparity, I'm better, we do more, we're more spiritual. No, no. We are equal. We need each other. We need each other's power. We need each other's strength in order to create God. That's why the Black Madonna and Child. That's why it's Orset and Heru. That's why it's Isis and Horus as the thing that the Pope is praying to. Because it's the child that is the important. It's the birth of something new, which is a representation of the child that is important. It is the future and seeing into the future and nurturing the future that is important. And we've been taught to live in the now, and the children are suffering. Look at the suicide rates and the stats of melanated children. Go take a look. It's atrocious. It's horrible. But everybody's woke. Everybody's spiritual. Everybody has a righteous name. Everybody's gender warring. Everybody's more powerful. But the children are still suffering. So something is out of whack. There's still an imbalance. The scales, the Libra scales aren't balanced. But this moon is in Libra. And even if you're doing in Vedic, you're talking Virgo, it still deals with organization, and it still deals with the woman. It still deals with nurturing, right? Virgo is also represented by a strain of wheat, which deals with farming in particular. And I wrote this on Facebook the other day. There's going to come a time very soon where a farm and a farmer is going to be more important than a multimillionaire and a mansion. Because if, God forbid, right, something happens here in America, some type of fallout, nuke, bomb, terrorist attack, we got all these migrants coming in. I'm empathetic, so I'm able to put myself in the shoes of people who think in military strategy, and it wouldn't be nothing for me to bring some people from Palestine in here, some people from Israel in here, some people from other countries who don't mean to do any good here. You think that America is always going to be safe? As America is falling, and we have astrological marker stamps from the war in Ukraine last year when Pluto went into Aquarius, the Pluto returned, we have astrological stamps, and now we have this whole war in the Holy Land. You don't think that it's eventually going to hit America in some way, shape, or form? If you don't, you're bugging, because that's what's going to happen. Some way, somehow, it's going to hit here. Something's going to hit here. And you got to be prepared mentally, spiritually. You got to raise and you can't wait till it happens. You got to get ready. If you're going to be a soldier in the army of God, what do soldiers do? They go to boot camp. They train, okay? And they take care of their kids and they nurture their kids. Let's continue going. So this is what it is. Man, woman, child. Okay? Fathers, when's the last time you reached out to your children? When's the last time you talked to your child? When's the last time you kissed your son and your daughter on the forehead before they went to school? When's the last time you told your child you were proud of them, even if they're doing bad? When's the last time you pointed out the positives? How do you talk to your children? Are you yelling at them, telling them shut the fuck up, cursing at them, talking to them like a dog? You're a woman, you don't like the daddy, so you taking it out on the child, the innocent child that has nothing to do with your fallout with the father, and vice versa. You don't call your kids because you don't like the mom and she's with another dude that you think is doing better than you, so you can't stay in contact with your kids. Oh, she's difficult to deal with, but you magical. Your name is Osar, and your name is super magic man online, but you don't have enough magic to finesse your baby mama into talking to your kids. Because guess what? Rod did. This is what I use the magic for. This is what I use the meditations for. Let me figure out because at one point I'm not going to say who, but I had a daughter's mother that was playing hide and seek with one of my daughters. I had to sit and figure out how am I going to get my child and see my child? And doing the spiritual work allowed me to do that. This is what I mean when I talk about practical magic. I don't care about you taking mushroom trips and you seeing motherfucking psychedelics. If it's not really helping you become a better parent, if it's not helping you become a better person, if you can't bring light to the arenas that you are in. That's where the magic is, in your electromagnetic field. Again, I know this because when I was locked up, I learned this with no candles, with no crystals, with no motherfucking oils. All I had was this and this in my gut, the three brains, another holy trinity, and was still to magically able to get my ass up out of jail and never go back again. Been over 20 years now. Well, I did go back for a traffic violation, but that was just a night. Long story. I'll get there one day. But that was it. And the funny thing is, when I had that whole traffic situation and I went to jail that night, you know what everybody was telling me? You don't even look like you belong here. You shouldn't be here. People in the cell, the officers, you shouldn't be here. You don't belong here. You don't even got that vibration. It's a benefit to doing this work, y'all. Y'all think it's just to manifest money and to manifest the boo and to get a house and a home and all that shit. All that shit will come once you do the work. I'm living proof. All that shit will come when you do the work. So you take care of yourself and you will be protected. You will be protected from getting shot, come to mama. You will be protected. And I'm not talking about some old, woo-woo shit. Like, this is real. I started this video with examples of my life. I did 5 years in prison, y'all. 1996 to 2001. Y'all don't see I don't got no scars. I got a scar on my forehead, but y'all can see the earlier videos. This was something recently I had a cyst, right? But other than that, I got no scars on my face. I ain't never been with no man. Because when I went in, something was in me that was like, yo, use this as a college. And that's what I did. And allowed me to get out early. I was supposed to do way more time. We'll get to that. Maybe on my birthday. I'll tell you the whole story of that spiritual journey, right? I always say I'm going to tell y'all, but I'll tell y'all eventually. So this is what it is, family. This is what it is. This is what it is. Man, woman, and child. The strong triangle, okay? The triangle is the strongest shape in nature. This is why pyramids are shaped as a triangle, okay? Man, woman, and child. This is what fighting the system is. This is where the magic relies. Do you know if you got 2 or 3 kids meditating in the house, do you know how much you can manifest? Businesses you could start, ideas you could create. If you got your kids on this, do you talk to your kids? Do you know what they really like? Or you're on the internet all day, arguing with people, taking selfies? When's the last time you took a break from social media? When's the last time you went out in nature? When's the last time you went to a spa? When's the last time you got a massage? When's the last time you got a colonic? When's the last time you took some supplements? When's the last time you researched some herbs that'll help you with your depression? That'll help you with your anxiety? When's the last time you meditated to help get rid of your anxiety and your depression? When's the last time you looked on a YouTube to learn how to meditate? Come on, man. Y'all be playing. And this ain't the time to play. It's only going to get worse, as I said earlier. Okay? You are the vanguard. Don't let bad days trick you into thinking you have a bad life. I posted this on Facebook the other day. We all have bad days. We all have ups and downs. I don't care how spiritual you are. I don't care how righteous you are. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care how many, Hail Marys and how much you touch your rosary beads and how many crystals you got on. You're going to have a bad day. That's life. It's designed to help you grow. When you have a challenge, the best way to look at it is in peace and enjoy and find joy while you're in the struggle and be at peace. Now, that is hard. It's easier said than done. But the more you do spiritual work, I don't even worry about money anymore. You know how money scared and money fearful I was in the past? I didn't even worry about that shit. For real. I don't even worry. There's times where my money might be down and then somebody will hit me for a reading. Out of nowhere. They don't know my money's down. No, I'm not at that point anymore, but there's times when I was. And somebody will just out of nowhere hit me for a reading. You have to also have a stream, a riverbank where your money could flow through. A lot of y'all want to manifest money, and the only thing you guys is fucking a penny for your scratch off and a pen for your lotto. And you think that's what, now the money can't come that way. I'm not against it, right? You might hit a lick. But I'll tell you this, if you don't have any financial literacy, if you know how to manage your money, if you don't know how to invest your money, if you don't know how to not misuse your money, you could manifest a shit ton of money and it'd be gone. Look at MC Hammer. Well, it might be an old reference, but look at the average NFL player, they say goes broke. 87% of NFL players go broke after they retire. And these are multimillionaires. They manifested a lot of money. And they're working at, car dealerships and shit, selling cars. This is real life. This is real life. So you can manifest all the money you want. If you don't know any financial literacy, you don't know the stock market, you don't know anything about bonds, you don't know anything about CPI data, you don't know anything about insurance, you don't know anything about a trust, you don't know anything about real estate, you don't know anything about nothing. All you know is you want to manage the money. You don't got no business, you don't got no services to offer, nothing. But the money just, is it going to just fall out the sky? You got to have a vehicle, a business, something that's going to make you some money outside of this, outside of just your job, outside of just your whatever you do for work. But if you're focused on watching Netflix and decoding Netflix, you're not going to get there, buddy. And if you keep smoking to avoid you doing the work because it's boring, you're not going to get there. You can make it fun. That's alchemy. That's magic. Put on some binaurals, like put on some jazz, so you don't hear nobody talking to you, no lyrics, and get to work. This is the Ring of Fire energy. And if you don't, you're gonna feel it. 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 You're gonna go through it even worse till you wake the fuck up. And all of it is designed to wake you the fuck up. Those crossroads are designed to put you in a certain perspective. I told you I got a family member staying with me, right? Me and them are having interesting conversations. Their challenge is to wake them up, but they're also here to wake me up in certain areas because they have strengths that I don't have, and I have strengths that they don't have. So we're learning from each other. Now, I could sit here pissed that somebody's invaded my space, right? And there's some days I'm like, damn, I wish you wasn't here. Please get the fuck out, right? But at the same time, I recultivate myself and put myself in their shoes, right? Because I could go through this, and I have gone through certain situations, and I have empathy, which is what God should be about. So don't let a bad thing think you have a bad life, right? Always think positive. Always visualize what you want. Always put your best foot forward, so to speak. Always look for solutions and look for ways to solve your problems, not escape them. Feel it. Feel the struggle. Feel the pain. Feel the hurt. Yeah, if you're going through something, yeah, you might need to have a drink, right? You might smoke a spliff, whatever, right? But don't rely on that to get you out of there. Because I can tell you this from my experience. When you're depressed and you keep smoking weed, you're going to stay depressed for longer. It's when you stop for a couple of days when you get the solutions and the answers. When you stop the mushrooms for a couple of days and allow your brain to really process and reset itself, because everything is within as far as healing and transforming and things like that, but you need information, you need light from the outside. So that's why books and learning is important. But all the answers are really within. And they will lead you to outside sources to help you further develop on those answers. Give me a second. I think that person is actually ringing the bell. Hold on. See, I gotta stop my live to open the door and shit. But it's all good. Listen, all right. So I got a little more to go. I think I've tapped that. So yeah. So 33 strategies of war. So every day you face battles, okay? That's the reality for all creatures in their struggle to survive. But the greatest battle of all is with yourself. Your weaknesses, your emotions, your lack of resolution, and seeing things through to the end. All right. So promote what you love instead of bashing what you hate. This is a common thing in social media where there's a lot of things to hate on social media. There's a lot of things to dislike. There's a lot of things to be angry about. There's a lot of things to complain about. There's a lot of things to be pessimistic about, right? But you are a spiritual being. So you are optimistic if this is what you claim. Again, if you're not willing to do the work, please just go back to church. I say this all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. We still gonna love you. We still gonna shake your hand. We ain't gonna feel bad. During the pandemic, a lot of people left this way of life and went back to church. They left metaphysics and the esoteric knowledge to go back to church because it's easier. All you gotta do is sit there and pray. You can do whatever you want and then pray, and Jesus will carry it away if that's what you believe, right? There's no real accountability in Christianity. So you can eat what you want, do what you want, smoke what you want, live how you want, and then go pray, and Jesus will take it away, right? That's the philosophy, even though that doesn't make sense. Because nothing in life works like that. If you plant a seed in fertile soil, it's going to grow. So, but it's okay. Go back to church if you don't want to do this work, right? If you're not willing to be vigilant about yourself, it's okay. We still love you. But if you are going to do this work, then know that it is going to be a battle. Know that you have to have a strong back. Know that you have to be willing to bear your crossroads, and you have to bear your crossroads as a light being, as a God body, as a positive ray of light. Know that you have to see things that are happening around you and still be a ray of light and still be joyful and not allow the outside world to drag down your inner world. Because it's not about the external world anymore. You're not looking for Jesus to save you or Allah to save you or Muhammad to save you going down this path. You are looking now within yourself to save yourself, and you are developing tools to cope. You are developing tools that will help you ascend. You are developing tools that will attract to you things, people, places, and circumstances that are beneficial to you. You are attracting now an electromagnetic field and shield to block you from trials, tribulations, and certain things that'll take you down and out and make your life harder, right? Because the goal is to, yes, you have challenges, but it's not supposed to beat you up, right? You're supposed to learn from them and grow and ascend and grow and ascend and grow and ascend and so forth, so on. But peace comes from within. Joy comes from within. If you ever bought something new, you know, as soon as you buy something new, right, you might want this thing and you have an idea for this thing. And then once you get it, right, you might feel hype or feel that charge of happiness for a day or 3 or a week. But after a while, it starts to fade away because you can't get happiness from the external world. You can't get joy from the external world. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is America's marketing plan. but it's not real. It's not reality. It's not, you can't buy your way into happiness. You can't white picket fence a wife, husband, and a dog your way to happiness, and 2-car garage your way into happiness. It doesn't work that way. And there's plenty of examples to show that it doesn't work that way. Again, I wish you all manifest the money that you think you want, so that you realize it's not going to make you happy, so that you realize it's not going to make you joyful, that you realize it's not going to make you peaceful. Jeff Bezos was a billionaire. You think, not Jeff Bezos, I'm sorry. What's his name? Steve Jobs, billionaire, right? Apple founder, billionaire. Came out, had a disease. You know, Steve Jobs had the best doctors in the world. You know that. You know he had the best doctors you could afford. Still couldn't keep him alive. Don't you think he would have traded all the billions that he had so that he could be here today? Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Take care of your mental health, your physical health. That should be the priority. Fuck what's going on overseas. We got issues here, as I've illustrated. Big issues. So this is the solution if you stayed here for this 3-hour mark, right? This happened to me in 2017. This is how you get there. So I told y'all earlier, this is what I was going to tell y'all. When you go through this eclipse season, right? When you look at this eclipse that's going to occur tomorrow, check online where you live. It's different times. I think for me, it's at or after 1 when it hits its peak, or at noon Eastern, 12:36 noon, I believe, if I'm correct. But check where you live. This is what happened to me. As a meditator, I went outside in 2017. I went out, and I told y'all this in the beginning. I looked at, they say you're supposed to wear glasses during the solar eclipse, so I'm a melanated being, right? So there's a privilege of me being melanated to wear you too, where you don't necessarily have to look at those glasses. Now consult your doctor, do what you need to do. If you're scared, go to church, right? Whatever. Wear glasses if you're scared. That's up to you. I want the full experience. So I looked at the eclipse at least for 10, 50, as much as my eyes could take it, to where it was, to where I wouldn't go blind. Like, don't say Rob Blackstone told you this and then your ass is blind tomorrow, right? If you are in the path of this eclipse. But if you can, look at it, and you're on the path of the eclipse, which I'll show you soon, look at it with your naked eye. And if you are not in the path, it's going to be shown online on YouTube. Look at it online. And you're going to feel yourself pull the energy from that eclipse. You're going to literally feel yourself, your body. When you look at it, feel it yourself pulling it into you. Feel yourself pulling it into you. Feel yourself pulling it into you. Right? And then make an offering. Right? Me, my offering was I threw some pennies in the water, right? To Oshun. That was my offering. Because Oshun is all about dedication to the path. Not Oshun, I'm sorry. Or Set. Or Yamayat, right? And I threw some pennies in the water, but you could do your own offering depending on what, look up the deity, see what you're trying to work on, what you're trying to manifest. My thing was staying on the path and being consistent. And what I wanted to do was expand my psychic abilities. And I knew if I got them, I'd use them responsibly, which I do. And literally 2 days later, my pineal gland popped, my kundalini awakened, and I felt this big heat in my body. And I started to look at people and see different things about them that I didn't notice before, seeing how they grew up, seeing how they would treat people, seeing their day-to-day lives, things like that, clairvoyant abilities, right? This is what happened. And this, you could get this too, right? But again, are you putting in the work, right? Are you ready for this? You know what I'm saying? Are you ready? Are you really ready? Now this may not happen for you. I'm not saying that. Something different may happen for you. Some other awakening may happen for you, right? Some challenge may occur. But after you are tapped into this ring of fire energy, even if you're watching online, because it doesn't matter, right? God's a traveler, right? God's a traveling man. This is what the Freemasons teach, right? But God's a traveling man. So if you're able to travel into that subconscious mind or that vortex, you're able to manifest whatever power you want. And it is a gift. If you're going through something, some financial crisis, a health crisis, do that. visualize yourself and tap into and request that. Don't just tap into, spiritual abilities. I didn't have a health crisis or a financial crisis at the time. But if you are going through that, tap into that energy to give you ideas for business or give you ideas for currency, or maybe you want to move up at your job or whatever the case is, right? Tap in for what you need. That's what it's for. That's what nature is for. The whole universe, the whole Milky Way is for you. It's for you. It's for you. It's for you, and for you to rise up and for you to reach your highest heights. And again, for you to be the vanguard here on earth. And do your meditation. Learn to meditate. Okay. Learn to go within yourself. Learn to slow your breath. Spirit means breath. The word spirit, the etymology of the word spirit means breath. If you control your breathing, you control your spirit. Your spirit is spiral, your spiraling energy that is within. But it's all controlled by your breathing. If you're breathing fast and rapid, you're going to be angry. If you're breathing slow and calmly, you're going to be relaxed. You're going to tap into your spiritual ability. You're going to tap into your ability to visualize, your ability to affirm or use mantras, right? And you're going to tap into that subconscious part, that third eye, that pineal, that hippocampus, that amygdala, and reprogram. So work on reprogramming your traumas in meditation. I have videos on how to do a meditation script. I'm not going to go through that here. Look at my tab, my video tab. It's how to do a meditation script. This is something you want to do during this window, because now you have more power. So you'll do shadow work easier. You'll be able to get past these limitations and these barriers easier. You'll be able to transform. And there's things I'm going to be working on too, right? I'm not perfect. There's things I'm going to be working on during this window at the height of these powers, especially this October, right? And the height of this eclipse season, because we're going into a time where if you're not ready, you're going to be swallowed up out here, and you're going to be caught up doing all type of shit and following all type of shit and lost in the sauce. And you're not going to be able to think for yourself critically. You're not going to have your ancestors' guidance because you just want to be woke and know a lot of shit but not do a lot of work. So this is how you get there, all right? And this is the first Holy Trinity, okay? Are you a transformational leader? If you are saying you are a spiritual being, by nature, you have to become a leader. By nature, you have to become a leader in something, right? Whatever you're here to do, you're supposed to lead, even if it's just fucking creating shoelaces. You're supposed to be the best shoelace maker in the world, right? You're supposed to provide shoelaces to people, right? That's your purpose. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have a purpose. If you love it and you love shoelaces and you love designing shoelaces, then fucking design shoelaces, right? But feed yourself things that are going to make you a better shoelace maker. I read and study things to make me better at conveying this information to you. I watch videos on how to become a better speaker, right? I'm still not there where I want to get yet, but this is what I'm supposed to do. I have to study. I have to learn, right? Look, I got shadow workbook right here. Subtle body right here, right? Should I take notes on? Like, work. This is not a game that we're playing. This is not just to sound smart. This is about becoming great. This is about becoming be above average in all things. And the only way you can do that is to become a worker, to become a leader. And you have to train your brain with the information you take in, the conversations you have, the way you communicate with others, which takes time, but you can condition it now. This is a window where you'll be able to do that rapido. You have to condition your heart, which is your emotions, managing them, what you invest in emotionally, how you deal with conflict, right? Are you just a person who pops off? And if so, coming to the source of these things. If you're a person who's too relaxed and doesn't stand up for yourself, right? To tap into that, to get some heart, right? This is a time where you go into your meditation bag and visualize these things, right? And then your gut, right? What you're feeding yourself, your diet, your health, your fitness. All three of these things got to be activated. You can't just like your car, you can't just put, if you got a Lamborghini, you can't just put regular unleaded in your Lamborghini, right? People will tell you, oh, I could eat whatever, and I'm still, go to church with that shit. No disrespect to the elders, right, who taught y'all that shit. But I worked in a hospital. There's too many facts that this shit, that's not reality. You don't want to be a certain age and your back's fucked up and you're going to the hospital all the time and you're hurt and shit like that. You know, the last time I've been in the hospital, I couldn't even tell you. It was that long ago. Probably in my 30s where I ate some bad food and I had gastroenteritis, but that was probably close to a decade now. I'm not better than anybody, but I do watch what I eat. I do engage in my fitness, right? I do watch what I watch. These are things you could do if you really want to tap into these powers and you really want to be spiritually protected. Or you continue just being smart and woke and knowing, you know, about Yaldabaoth and the egregores and the demiurge and who's out to get you and what the government's going to do next, and, you know, feeding your fears. Because you have to recondition yourself out of that feeding your fear mindset as well. And this is how you do it. This is how you're triggered, first and foremost. The first thing that happens to get you triggered, this is how triggers, first thing that happens is their event. There's an event that triggers you, right? That event that triggers you produces an emotion. That emotion produces a verbal thought. That verbal thought produces an image, and it could be vice versa. It could be image first, verbal thought, right? But if those two things happen, you can have a verbal thought and an image. And then there's actions you take on that. You have to recondition that in your meditations. And that's the only way you could do it. I'm sorry. You're not going to get it out of books. You're not going to get it just drinking green juice. You're not going to get it taking a whole bunch of mushrooms. You're not going to get it wearing a whole bunch of crystals. You're not going to get it just taking spiritual baths. You cannot depend on the external for the internal. You cannot change the external unless you tap into the internal. The external things cannot save you. Nothing from the outside will save you, but you doing the internal work. And the internal work starts with meditation, because spirit means breath. And the way you control your breath is through meditation. There's no other way for me to explain this. I only teach y'all things that I've went through. And I'm not wasting 3 hours of my time on a Friday night when I could be getting some ass to talk to y'all if I didn't think that this window of this lunar eclipse is the most powerful time of the year to prepare you for that 8 year of build and destroy, where shit is going to hit the fan, and it will. But you could still rise above it and be the vanguard and be the third eye and be the one that is helping people instead of somebody that's harming people, instead of somebody that's spreading more fear and spreading more toxicity. Don't take any sides in this conflict. This ain't your business if you're melanated, who the Israel and Palestine shit. That's not your business. Your business is taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, healing, doing shadow work, and becoming the best version of yourself. Right, like Great God just said, leave the sugar alone. Leave the processed foods alone. Speaking of which, I had I told y'all I saw earlier, I saw a holistic doctor did Chinese medicine, and he was like, yo, you got to stop eating food after 4 o'clock, because your body, the way your body is processing food, is affecting your stomach, your IBS. And then he told me, yo, and I was telling him, you know, I was saying what herb I need to take, still looking at the external, right? Even the God, even me, right? Looking at the external, what medicine should I take? What herb, right? Because I'm thinking, you know, I'm fancy. I'm not talking about a pill. I'm talking about herbs now, right? And he's saying, yeah, I'm going to prescribe you some Chinese herbs for you to take and all that. But he said, remember, you can meditate and heal your stomach. Just visualize yourself having a calm stomach. Just visualizing yourself not having IBS. Do you know I've been doing that this week? I used to, let me tell you, I used to poop like 3 times a day, 4 times a day. Real talk. Do you know just in this week, this is how fast, if you really are doing this work during this cycle, things will transform for you. Do you know now that I I've only pooped once. Yesterday, the same thing. And I followed this to the T. I don't eat after 4. Well, after 5. I don't eat after 5. Most of my stuff now, people have different jobs and different things, whatever. People have different issues. This was my issue. But I'm just giving you an example to show you that and I was guided to do that, right? If I was going to Cancun, I wouldn't have invested money in going to Commit Fest, and I would have never met the doctor. I would have never got a consultation. I would never been healing this IBS that's been affecting me for a long time, over decades, which is now starting to heal. And that's mad. That's what the magic's for. You talking about money? I want to live. I want to see my kids grow up. And it's not that I'm attached to this physical world, but I just fucking want to see my kids grow up. And I want to do it at high velocity. When I meet a woman, if she's 10 years younger than me, I want to be able to knock her boots off and have the energy and the stamina to do it. I don't want to let my age limit me. I'm God. That's what I say I am. So I should be able to maximize the best parts of me until I leave this planet. So tap into your real trinity, that heart, head, gut access, okay? Read more about that. Don't just take this and this is the end all, because it ain't. You got to do your own study. I'm just a guide. I can't help you with that, with everything. So okay, so this is the path, right? If you're in these states, right? On this map, screenshot it. If you're in Nevada, there's parts of Texas, New Mexico, whatever. You're in this path, definitely go outside. If not, watch it on YouTube. It's supposed to rain here in New York. I'll be watching on YouTube, and I'll be doing the same thing that I did in 2017, pulling light from my own challenges and things like that, right? The things I have to adjust. So we have Friday the 13th, which is tonight, solar eclipse, which is tomorrow, 2 meteor showers, and a full blood lunar eclipse on Halloween weekend, right? Now you can look at this as scary shit, and it will be for a lot of people who are not doing the spiritual work. It's going to be a scary time. It's going to be a wild time. It's going to be heightened. Now it's heightened energy season, right? The same way you could use the heightened energy for good, the same way you could use the heightened energy to be a savage of a savage, right? But if you're spiritually in tune and you're doing the work, guess what? Your ancestors have favor over you. God has favor over you. The spirit world has favor over you, right? Just like the Christians say, you take 1 step to God, God takes 2 steps to you, right? The same philosophy and the same velocity. So this is where we're at, right? I don't know how else to tell you. I put it in the warning. I'm trying to trigger y'all to be scared, right? So that you could watch this video and tap in, Hopefully you take heed to what I'm saying, because it ain't this comfort zone that melanated people are in. That shit's about to change. And until we tap into our spiritual culture, our indigenous spiritual culture, and stop looking at the outside, even the Orishas, right? Stop looking to the Orishas as something outside of yourself and realize they're just personality archetypes that are already within you. And the reason I got to download a long time ago, let me say this. I got to download a long time ago, right? And I didn't really understand it. But I got to download that. The Orishas, the gods, the Netaru, right? The Loa, all that. The reason that they're in physical form, right, are so that man can see a reflection of himself or herself in a physical form. But these are all, the deities all in you. The ancestors live in your DNA. The gods are all in you. Even if you believe in Jesus, Jesus will tell you himself, right? Let's look at the scripture. Don't gotta believe me. 2 Corinthians 3:16-18. But when one turns to the Lord, which should be God's, whenever you see Lord, it actually should say God's, right? But for the sake of argument, we'll say Lord. But when one turns to the Lord, the veil is removed, okay? The veil is removed. You're able to see things that others can't see. This is that Heru vision, when you're able to use your will when you're following not your will, but the will of God, the will of divine, the will of the universe. When you are being a God, even when things are challenging, and it's giving become a devil, is giving become a dog, but you still act like a God. You still are, and I'm not talking about no super, good shit. I'm talking about behaving as a God would in that state. And if you don't understand what a God looks at, again, that's what the deities and the Loa and the Netaru are for. So you can see what that looks like in its highest form. And that's what those stories around the deities and the Orishas and all that is for. So you can see yourself in highest form in these stories so that you can understand who you are. So it says again, when one towards the Lord, the veil is removed. Now the Lord is the spirit. Okay, so the Bible is telling you that the Lord within you is the spirit. We just said that spirit means breath. And when the spirit of the Lord, and where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And we all, with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image. Now, remember in Genesis, it says man was made in God's image. So even if you're Christian, it still applies. So we transform the same image from one degree of glory to another. Okay, so America is falling, right? You want to be tapped in to that spirit so you could tap into that freedom. And so you could behold the glory of God, which is the glory within yourself, because you are a reflection, you are a divine being. You are a God body. You have the spirit of God within you. You are a drop of water in the ocean of God, as we all are. And if you are, again, in this melanated meat suit, you have the ability to become much better. And if you want money, you want power, you want all that, you can have it. You can have it. There's jobs that I shouldn't have or I shouldn't have had with my record. You understand that I have. There's places I've managed that I shouldn't have managed. There's things that's happened, which I've detailed. I have like over 200 videos. Some I wasn't that great at delivering a message, where I was still learning. And I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get better. Right? Always. I'm always going to try to get better and better and better, as I'm doing this. But this is what it is. So if you really want to tap in and see beyond the veil, so to speak, see within the spiritual world, see it within the quantum realm, without psychedelics, without weed, without mushrooms, without anything outside of yourself, right? After I came from Comet Fest, I had a meditation. That shit was like a psychedelic experience. And I remember that I used to have meditations like that. You got to start getting around people. You got to start having your kids tapped into this. You got to start creating tribes within your own family, if they rock with you, or if not, with people that you know that rock with you. And we're not missionaries. We're not trying to save people. That's not what this is about. But there are people that are doing this work out here, and you have the privilege of having the internet to be able to connect with them. That is the blessing. The Kempata. And that is all we have for tonight. Does anyone have any questions before I let you go? Got 3 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, drop it before I sign out and go watch Loki. Watch Loki and meditate and talk to my family member that's here. See how their night went. And if you can't meditate, the best time to meditate is before bed. That's really the best time because you're going into the astral realm, right? Or first thing in the morning when you wake up, right? If you miss a day, it's okay. But this period between now, this new moon and this full moon, with a blood moon, you definitely want to get on your meditation game at least 5 times a week, right? At the least 5 times a week. You want to, like they say, you should work out 4 times a week, but you want to work out your spirit. And you're going to see things start to fall off quickly. This is a very, very positive. It's a ring of fire, nigga. You're a heat. Your melanated body is a heat-based being. It's based on heat. It's based on fire. It's based on warmth. It's based on that moon working for you. Good question. Great question. So he said, peace, rather modest more. Do you have any questions on how to stay consistent with your spiritual work? Yes, this is what I just said. Meditate morning, or meditate in the morning, or meditate at night. We used to have, and this is something I still do. When I was God body, they said that have something called the God hour, right? Which was 7 p.m. And this is a time where you read and you study, and you get into your books and you learn and you take your notes or whatever. And we're in a digital world, so there's a lot of great things on YouTube. There's a lot of great things, online and things like that. But they say the average person scrolls social media 3 hours a day. That's a lot of time to be looking at other people's thoughts when you could be developing your own by reading and studying. So if you can't do 7 o'clock, have your own God hour during the day. And if you can't do a full hour, dedicate a half hour. Go to the bathroom if you don't have the space, sit on the toilet, and read and study, right? Make time for what's important to you. And this is how you stay consistent with your spiritual work. All you really need, I forgot to say this too. Spirit also told me 6 months could change your life. Like between now, we got October, November, December, January, February, March, right? And then spring's coming. So these next 6 months and during that time also, there's another eclipse, the Great American Eclipse. I believe it's in, well, I don't want to say, but I know it's next year sometime. But yeah, there's another Great American Eclipse coming. So this is a window really where you could again tap in, but how you stay consistent is, again, you gotta meditate. You gotta learn to meditate, and you have to write out a script of what you want to manifest, who you want to be, what characters you want to change. You can use an Orisha as a visual anchor, right? You can use a Netaru as a visual anchor. So this way, when you meditate, you lock back in. Another thing about meditation is this. Don't think that when you first start to meditate, you're going to automatically be able to go into the darkness, what I call the void, and suspend all thoughts. No, you're going to be thinking about the bills. You're going to be thinking about dinner. You're going to be thinking about your kids. You're going to be thinking about the girl that broke your heart, or the man that broke your heart, or something that happened last year, or the future. Those things are going to come up even to this day. And I've been meditating since 1996, 98, off and on, right? I've been meditating consistently. And there's still times where I'm meditating out. And sometimes, you might even fall asleep meditating, That's actually a good thing, because that means whatever you've meditated on, you're taking it now to the astral realm. But when you meditate, it's important that you're doing it for the purpose of changing and transforming behavior. It's important that you're doing it for the purposes of shadow work. It's important that you're doing it for the purpose. Right now that we are in Scorpio season, it's a great time to do shadow work. It's a great time to do behavior. It's always different behaviors to change, but it's a great time to do shadow work, past hurt, past trauma, relationship trauma, especially if you're a man. A lot of men don't address their relationship trauma with women. Go back to the first girl that hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Go back in the meditation. They'll take you there. You know what I'm saying? The first girl that broke your heart. The first girl that, slept with your man or whatever the case is, right? Whatever relationship trauma you have, the girl that cheated on you, go back to that trauma and make peace with it. You know what I'm saying? Be at peace, be at joy. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, man, it's that situation, man. You got to hug the girl in your meditation. You got to make peace with the situation. That's tough to do, but in your meditation, you got to smile and hug her. Vice versa. If it's a man, you got to, this is work that you do to overcome trauma, so that when you think of these things, when you're at work or when you're driving or on a train, bus, whatever, right? And these things pop up, you don't have that weight. It's about becoming light as a feather, so you don't have that weight of trauma on you. So the best way to stay consistent with your spiritual work is to have, for instance, no one has to tell you how to be consistent to go to work if you have a job, right? Nobody got to tell you that. You got to get your ass up Monday through Friday to go to work. You got to shower, you got to brush your teeth, you got to get dressed, right? You got to pull out your clothes. Nobody got to tell you that. It's the same thing with your spiritual work. You have to designate your time If you need to wake up an hour early, do that so you get your meditation in. If you need to wake up at 3, 4 a.m., do that. Some people say the best time to wake up is 3, 4 a.m. If that works for you, that works for you. Sometimes I do that myself, but I like, before bed, and I like in the mornings. That works best for me. That's what I've seen myself much more productive. And sometimes you'll get to the point where you'll do it twice. You'll do it at night and you'll do it first thing in the morning. But it's all about, and write out again don't start with everything with the thing that's the most disturbing, or the most, the biggest problem that you have. Maybe you're not, you're not confident around women, or, you feel uncomfortable. I'm just giving you an example of something, right? Or maybe, there's a financial issue, or maybe there's a health issue, right? The immediate thing, write out what it looks like if those things are gone. See yourself smiling through it. See yourself making peace with the situation, so that you could take that weight off of it, and that you could transmute that energy so that you could be at a high vibration. So you can't be weighed down with things and still say you're a high vibrational being. It doesn't work that way. You have to let things go. You got to let go of the Israel-Palestine. You got to let go of trying to save the whole Black community. You got to let go of trying to save the world. You got to let go of what the celebrity gossip is. Yeah, you can watch those things and engage in them for entertainment, which is what I do too, right? But don't get emotionally involved. Don't become consumed, because whatever you focus on expands. So you have to have a practice, a consistent practice. The same way they say you should work out 4 times a week, I say now, during this season, you should meditate 5 times a week. That is the ring of fire. When you meditate, you're literally putting yourself in a ring of fire. You do know that there is an eclipse point when you're meditating. Your moon is blocking your sun. Your sun is your outward self, what you display to the world, what they see you as. Your moon is your inner self, your emotions, your feelings, right? Et cetera, et cetera. That's your moon. So the moon and blocking the sun is now you're saying, okay, my emotions, and you're going to see people that are not doing this work get highly emotional, get highly upset, be in their quote unquote feelings, right? Look at Drake. Drake's the example. You see how he's in his feelings about his album being trash. You're going to see more and more of that of people, more and more breakups, more and more exposure, more and more seeing people for who they are, more and more people going to be revealed for what they truly are, and if they're truly doing the work. More and more people practicing escapism, drugging, smoking, video gaming, movie watching, and drinking, because they don't want to face themselves. So you have to carve out a time. I would say, if you never meditated, start with 5 minutes. Start with 10 minutes. And again, don't expect, if you go to the first day you go to the gym, you're not going to expect to look like, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his 20s, right? That takes work. It's the same way. I would suggest Modest More. Go watch Henry Sugar. Go watch the story of Henry Sugar on Netflix. What's the name of that shit? I just had it up. Hold on, look at my history. The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar on Netflix. It's 30-something minutes. And he explains the work that you got to put in with meditation and visualization in order to get good at something. And it takes time, But now, again, it's a quickening. We're in a quickening. So now there's a quickening which you develop in your spiritual gifts and your spiritual self. I hope that answered your question. Any other questions? And the meditation will bring you to the crystals, and it'll bring you to the herbs, and it'll bring you to the deities, and it'll bring you to all you need to get to where you want to get to, and what you need to heal, and the people and the places and the circumstances and the coincidences, right? There's no such thing as coincidence, only confirmation. But that's where we got to start. And the quote unquote, they used to be called Hindus, which we now, well, there's a discovery now that the Hindu is actually the name that the colonizers gave the people from Indish Kush, right? The Kushites, which shows the melanated past of India and even Hinduism, right? Which should be called Hinduism, right? And that past, you know, they deal with meditation and yoga, right? They deal with meditation and yoga, mental and physical fitness. So I see your avatar, so you're a woman. So as a woman, this is easy work for you. You know, you're a receptive being, you're a receptive vehicle, you're a feminine vehicle, so you're a receptive vehicle. So you start meditating, man, you're gonna be light years ahead of people who don't. For a man, it's going to take a little bit of more work because we're naturally tuned to look for the outside, to build, you know, to create, to fight, warrior, you know, that energy of testosterone, but the energy of estrogen is receptive. So meditation is what I would definitely recommend, and what I always recommend as a great point, and it'll lead you to everything else. Anything else? Anyone else? But yeah, work. Just like you go to your job and work, put in the spiritual work. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Put in the spiritual work. You got to go to war with yourself, baby. That's the first war. The first jihad is within you. The first jihad is within you. I didn't know I was going to go to Comet Fest last weekend. I didn't know. I canceled my trip to Cancun, went to Comet Fest. Best thing I ever did. Probably next couple of weeks, my IBS will be cured. IBS that I've had over 20 years. It's already starting this week. I can only tell you what worked for me. I can tell you I could tell you to play, right? But you got to run the ball. I could coach you, but you got to run the play, or suffer the consequences of losing by not running the play. But I've given you the tools, stare how to draw energy from the eclipse, right? All that is factored in. So with that being said, I don't see any more questions here. Thank you guys for spending all this time with me. I know this was a long video. I learned to edit these videos so that I could put them in clips so that I could share more. But I appreciate you being live with me, and have a great day tomorrow. I hope you all tap in. I hope you have a great time this weekend. And if you are going through the struggle, I hope you're working on making it better, because nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. And stop trying to escape your problems and your pain. Face them head on. Put your big boy drawers on. Put your big girl pants on and face your problems. Okay? Once you face them, you'll be able to face yourself, and you'll be able to rise above whatever that challenge is. I promise you. I'm telling you because I've done it. I'm not just telling you some philosophical woo-woo shit. I'm telling you shit from a real nigga who went through real shit and have done real thing, the best version of myself. And it's a constant journey. It never stops. Once you think you know it all, that's why once you see these niggas on the internet that are popular, they start talking about I'm God and the cops can't catch me and the cops can't stop me. I'm God. Next thing you know, they locked up, right? Because you always have to continue learning. You always have to continue growing. It never stops. It's a never-ending journey. You never know it all. All right, y'all. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going. Peace, power, and prosperity. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, I am out. Have a great weekend. Peace. I might come through Sunday. I'm going to see if I can hit up Mo. I think we need to do something on astrology. But again, peace, power, prosperity. Rob Blackstorm, I love y'all. Later. Oh, and hit that subscribe, donate button if you want, right? Share this with your friends. Yeah, let them know tomorrow's a big day. Peace.